Hey, we're live. It's been a while. It's been a minute, huh? Oh, I hope I remember how to do this. I'm a little nervous. So, welcome to the 200,000 member celebratory live stream. I have no budget. I have like leftover birthday balloons from like years ago that I found in the closet when I was cleaning earlier today. So first of all, actually, I should get a sound check before I go too far. In chat, can I get a little 5 out of 5? The first 5 was for volume. The second is for clarity. So a 5 by 5 means loud and clear, in case you're curious about old-timey radio. So, got your ears on, son? 5 by 5 for Ace and Frankie. Thank you. A couple longtime viewers of the live stream. DJ Talks, another classic member of the group. Fantastic to have you all here. It's great having so many people here who have been on so much of this journey with us, including Amanda's Right Life, Operation Life, JT Halo 9. Just fantastic to have everybody here. That is amazing. So anyways, the best laid plans of mice and men often gang agley, with apologies to Robbie Burns. So I had a plan. This was not that plan. We were growing pretty rapidly in our Facebook group and approaching 200,000 members for a variety of reasons. I think it's part of the world that we're living in right now, where a lot of people are at home, so maybe they're getting to the editing they wanted to, or they decided I now have this time. I'm going to take my YouTube channel seriously. Or maybe some people had some free time for the first time in a long time and decided, no, I'm gonna do that thing that I've wanted to do for so long and create a YouTube channel. It could have been a lot of different things. And there have been some people that in this situation have lost their jobs or had other income interrupted. It's happened to me to a degree on my channel as well. And so maybe they're looking for other revenue sources. And so anything I can do to help people is fantastic. And so we were seeing phenomenally, nearly unprecedented growth in the group. We have in the past had brief periods for like a fortnight where we would grow like 1,000 people per day. And so we were starting to, over the last couple of months, we've had that experience again. But this time for a much more sustained period of time, going on nearly 3 months now, I think. I don't know, I haven't really been keeping track. It feels like forever. And also at the same time, that everything was happening. On some days, we were actually growing by 2,000 or more per day. And so with that did come some challenges for those of you who are in the Facebook group. And so for those of you who probably encountered like unusually high levels of spam, possibly inappropriate private messages, the sorts of things that happen with rapid growth, I do apologize. And I also want to say thank you for your patience with us as we worked our way through it. We were aware of what was happening. We were doing everything we could behind the scenes to kind of manage it in the best way for all of our members. So we rapidly expanded our moderating team with several new moderators who are all fantastic. I have to say I can't thank you enough for all of the mod teams help. Old school mods, new mods, everyone has been a great help. And so we were creeping up on this number, and it's an arbitrary number. It's actually funny. Somebody sent me some hate private messages on Facebook. I get that a lot. But one stuck with me because it was just so bizarre. It was like, what was he said? Your group isn't about helping people. It's about inflating the ego of a bearded midget. And so but the funny thing is people often think that we're about the numbers, and we're actually really not. We do have a welcome post that I try to post every 1,000 people, just as a place to welcome people, maybe catch a few link droppers and sub for subbers before they hit your post. And also I try to direct them to things like the units and other resources we've got. So it's an opportunity for them to ask questions, so they're not, spamming my last vacation video, being like, why didn't you approve my post? It gives them somewhere else to hopefully welcome them into the group. And I have a Facebook rep, and I'm that I communicate with, and they had asked me, they said, could you do a welcome for every 100 members? And I'm like, no, that would be all I ever did. How about every 300? I'm like, no, I will give you one every 1,000. That's the deal. So it's actually the recommendation of Facebook itself that we do that. I mean, we were already doing it, and so my compromise was like, I'll just keep doing what I was doing. But honestly, that's actually something that they've requested, and I'm happy to do it because for those reasons that I just outlined. But sometimes people see that and they think, well, Ray, all he cares about are the numbers. And it's really not. Helping one person is amazing. And so to think that maybe I've in some small way helped, upwards of 200,000 is insane. So anyways, as I was saying, the best laid plan. So I was working on, a big 200,000 member live stream. It was going to be on May 28th, so I was slowing the member acceptances to so we could plan it and have a thing. I was going to get balloons. I was thinking about getting those gold to silver, like 200K balloons, like Instagrammers do. Although it feels like a waste of money and a little egistical. So I'm actually kind of happy that I had to go super last minute, low budget, because this feels more like us. So anyways, we were working on that. So like I had this new title here for, here, I'll just quickly cut to. So like I had that I had made, so I was like, yeah, we're gonna have a new graphic for our live streams. May 28th was gonna be a launch of 3 solid days of live streams in a row, possibly more. We were behind the scenes working on having like a video where the moderators were gonna contribute things, and we may or may not still do that if I can ever find the time. And that's one of the things about like my welcome posts. If I didn't do that, I don't know, like sometimes I get so busy managing the group, I don't have time to participate in the group. And that sucks, because I love participating in the group. It's such an amazing community. I love helping people out and answering questions and sharing jokes and, sharing, the accomplishments and the lows and everything in between. And, clearing up, fake news and whatnot as well, because there's a lot of that around YouTube too. So, and so my welcome posts are, it's like a reminder. It's like a slap in the face, be like, Ray, remember? Don't forget to have that fun too. So anyways, we were planning all this, and then there was an issue that happened earlier today, where like I said, we were slowing the member approvals so that we could also kind of clean up the group, deal with some spammers and things that we've been having this issue with over our massive growth. And then something went awry, and nearly 5,000 people were let into the group without being properly vetted. So that was tricky. I had to really quickly rush, and I was able to remove the 100 worst offenders of them right away, and we've been dealing with that today. So I've basically put this live stream together with no notice, because I thought I had another 8 days, I guess. Now another 8 days. I'd only been planning it for 2 days. So welcome to, that's my long introduction. Welcome to the hastily put together celebratory live stream. So I got my little balloon, and I wrote 200K on there. So I'm going to try and blow it up and see if I either pass out or if this looks like trash. My money's on trash. I'm gonna put up the comments so I can see what you guys think. Okay, this is I don't know how long this balloon's been in storage. It's been a while. You hear that sound? That's weird. This is not normal. Should I keep going? Okay, I don't think I want to go much bigger than that. Where's my writing? Wow, it completely disappeared. That at some point said 200K. All right, let's tie that off. In high school, I used to organize balloon drops for the school dances. So I used to inflate 1,400 balloons every 3 months, 4 times a year. So I'm a little out of practice, but I'm not out of breath. So I'm a little proud of that. So here, balloon drop. There you go. Our very low budget production. So anyways, welcome to the celebration. Let's see what's going on in chat. How's everybody doing? Like I said, we've got a pretty cool group here. So JT Halo 9's first one here. So if you do happen to have a request, I'd be happy to respond. Questions are great. I can do live tutorials. I can take a look at your channel. I think I've done so for you before, JT. But I can also help with looking at specific videos. I can possibly help you get unstuck with one of your videos. If there's one that hasn't gotten views in a while, might be able to help diagnose what's going on there. Yeah, DJ Talks is here. DJ is so frequently part of these live streams. It's so amazing. It really is there's nothing like that fear of starting a live stream and being like, well, what if nobody comes? Like, and so people like JT Talks, it's so great to have that regular support. Ace of Vegas, what a lovely man. It's a weird thing to say, but I mean it. He tuned into a live stream. I don't know, it was like 2 years ago, something like that. I think it was me, like, was it when I was in LA or Victoria or something, like one of those really early ones I did. And I didn't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I know what I'm doing now. But I was able to give him some advice for his channel, and he implemented it, and his channel's just taken off. Like his let's put him up here, because like speaking of celebrating milestones. My channel, Vacation Impossible, just hit 2,000 subscribers, but you'll notice Ace of Vegas here, he's well on his way to 5,000. So that is just amazing. As you can see, I'm one of those subscribers because you can see here from those red lines, I've watched quite a few of his videos. So his stuff is absolutely amazing. When things get back to normal, if you end up thinking about going to Vegas, you gotta watch some of his stuff. I did a collab with him in Vegas. He's the nicest, funniest, smartest, well-educated. He knows like martial arts in like how many languages? 3, 5, some impressive number of languages. So I mean, this is the kind of like, that is an all around, well-rounded YouTuber. So I love seeing all the success that he's found, and to think that I've contributed in some small way to that. That's amazing. That's the kind of thing, like at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, I did something pretty awesome. So that's great. Amanda's Right Life is here. She's frequently in these live streams. She's also our moderator on our subreddit. That's right, subreddit. We have a subreddit, Small YouTubers Boost. This was created in part because Reddit is a scary place. My first foray into Reddit went so badly. I joined a travel subreddit. I don't remember which one. It might have been Our Traveling. I don't even know. And I got banned in like 15 seconds flat. Here's the quick version of the story. They had a bunch of rules, and one rule is don't post anything that you didn't yourself create. And I'm like, heck yeah, I got tons of travel stuff. Bring it on. And then they had another rule that said no self-promotion. I don't know how you do both at the same time, but I tried, and I failed, and I fell right on my face. So, Small YouTubers Boost, the Facebook group, we've had to ban well over 9,000, probably creeping up on like 10,000 people. And it's interesting because I've been banned from places myself. And so I like to think that gives me a rounded approach to understanding sort of what that's like. And I hate doing it. I only do it when I'm absolutely backed into a corner. So anyways, the Reddit kind of scared me off right away. And I was seeing in our Facebook group, post after post, someone would be like, where can I promote my content? So he says, Reddit's great. And they're like, I'm afraid of Reddit. They wouldn't necessarily say it that way, but reading between the lines, they would, oh, Reddit's complicated. I'm not comfortable there. I don't know the community, the rules. Like there was a lot of ways that were different ways of expressing what felt like the same emotion, which was fear. And so I created Small YouTubers Boost, the subreddit, as a sandbox that you can play in. So you can go and you can post. What does it look like if I post a link versus a text post that has a link in it? You can go and look at what some other people are doing. And the reason I'm talking about this is because Amanda's Right Life is in the chat, and she is one of our moderators of that subreddit, and I want to say thank you. She's in there more than I am. My focus is more the Facebook group, but she keeps that community clean and tidy, and so thank you there. Operation Life says, what's up, Ray? Been a long time since I've been on one of your live videos. Yeah, it's nice when the timing works out for that, so that's pretty good. Ace is editing while he's listening to this. You gotta make good use of that time, right? You gotta multitask and all that kind of stuff. Frankie London's here. I did a channel review for Frankie some time ago. Hopefully things have been going well for you. I sincerely hope that that's doing well. We got Chris 10 TFF Gaming and Vlog. Shout out to everyone in the stream. They say welcome to the show. This isn't just going to be a nostalgia trip, I promise. Stupid Robot Fighting League is here. Celebration Beard. Yeah, I'm getting that getting that back. Whenever I go to my day job, I have to shave so that if I became symptomatic, I could wear the N95 mask and it would form a proper seal. And you're supposed to have facial hair for that to work. So whenever I go into the office, so you can see how long it's been since I went into the office of the day job. Let's see here. I have a question. Why would TubeBuddy tell me I rank first or second for a video I know people are searching for and still get no traffic? Also, my channel went viral for me because of it went viral. That's awesome. That is fantastic. I'm super pleased to hear that. Because I like one thing I think that's great about Amanda is she's definitely not opposed to trying new things. She's very brave in that regard. And so I admire her for that. And so the fact that it sounds like some of those things are gaining traction is fantastic. Because again, I say this a lot. YouTube is a marathon, not a sprint. I'm not the only one who says that. I don't know who said it first. It's a relatively common thing, but it is so true. I mean, that's why things become truisms or cliche often, is because they have a lot of accuracy in them. And that's one of the things. So like just sticking to it and being, the person who's still here after 1, 2, 3 years, that's when, one of the people that I like to talk about, I've got an affiliate link down below for Amazon for this, but Simon Sinek, he talks about finding your why. One of the things he talks about is playing an infinite game. So when we look at YouTube, there's a lot about it that is a mental game, I think. And so having the right attitude towards it is such a huge advantage for your channel success and for your mental health and your longevity in that marathon. So I think some of the things that people look at is they think like, oh, it's a competition and it's a zero-sum game. And I felt that way early on, and I feel really regretful. I mean, I didn't do much because I felt that way, but I got to be honest, I did. It was like, well, the view for someone else on a video about the same topic as me is one less for me. And that's just so short-sighted. It's not the good way forward. It's like, hey, you know what? If everyone's watching travel videos, and right now nobody is, but if everyone is, my channel gets a boost. The rising tide raises all boats quote. I think Reagan or somebody said that. So, or he said it, but somebody else originally coined it. But the point is that in a lot of areas in YouTube, you see that. And so, if it's a zero-sum game, you're fighting a defensive battle the whole time, and you're playing what Simon Sinek calls a finite game, where it's like it's about winning and losing this video, this quarter, whatever your metric is you want to win. There is no winning at YouTube because there's no clearly defined goals. You can't say that X number of views is a win. You can say that for yourself, but not in competition with other people, because there's no agreed upon standard. One thing that drives me bonkers in our Facebook group, and I don't blame the people, but I see it a lot, and it's a little frustrating for me, is they post their stats, and they'll say, okay, this is my first week, my first 2 weeks, my first year, whatever, and they'll say, is this good? And there's no objective measure. It's not that kind of a game. It's not baseball. It's not hockey. Hockey has finite rules. We play 3 periods. If it's a tie, we go into overtime. After the overtime, we do the stupid shootout. Sorry, I'm a Canadian. I got feelings about that. But there's rules. If you can't cross 2 blue lines, that would be offside. Or was it you can't cross the blue line in advance of the puck? That's offside. There's certain things that are rules that everyone's agreed upon. And there's a finite period, and then there's a win or loss at the end of it. And YouTube is not like that at all. There are some finite rules, like, for example, the fake engagement policy, and boy, if you don't know what that is, please give it a read, because that will tell you why buying and selling views will get your channel shut down, and sub for sub will get your channel shut down. And so please protect your channel. Don't let all your hard work go down the drain by falling into what you think is a easy shortcut, and in reality is fraud, frankly, and gets your channel shut down. So there are some agreed upon rules, certainly, but there's no end point. YouTube doesn't end. It's like trying to win at the internet. The internet doesn't end. So if we take the infinite mindset that, again, Simon Sinek talks about, and again, I highly recommend his books. Also his TED Talk. He's a better talker than a writer, so maybe check out the TED Talk, but his book, really good too. For a number of reasons. One of the things he talks about is this, an infinite mindset. So some people play the game to win, but I don't think they're the ones who stick around. There are several people who have kind of won and they're gone. Whether it's like a mental health burnout or they lost the resources, the interest, the longevity, whatever it was. Maybe they took a cash prize and went somewhere else. But whatever it was, they're not still around in a lot of cases. The infinite player, and here's the key part, the infinite player plays to keep playing. That's important. Win or lose, and again, there is no winning or losing, you stay in the game because you're in the game to continue the game, because you want to play, because you enjoy playing the game. I got a video here on the channel about motivation. And so, check that out, not right now, but maybe after the live stream or some other time, or if you're just, you want to, think about your own motivation, figure out, it covers 2 things. One is like finding your why. I talk about that intermittently. And another part is about how to get off your butt and make it happen. So I break it down into those 2 pieces. So but that's the whole thing is like, if you have another thing that drives me nuts, I'm just raise rants here. So people post in the group all the time, what's an interesting topic for a video? What genre should I create? I mean, I love our members and I want to help people and that's why I'm here 100%. But every time I see someone say like, what genre should I make that will be successful? I want to reach to the computer and slap them. It's like, why are you here? What is your why? And if your why is because you want to be famous or rich, I don't think it's going to happen. That is a result. That is not a why. A why is I want to help people, I want to entertain people, I want to spread my message, something. I want to inform people, help people through a difficult time, whatever it is. And that's what keeps you going, and that's what turns the sprint into a marathon, and that's what makes you an infinite player, is because you're in it because you enjoy it. And I've said this before, and I talk about this in the motivation video, I can't not create a video. I just can't. It would drive me nuts. I'd get twitchy. Like, that's my fix, almost. Call it a form of artistic expression. Sometimes I feel like an artist, sometimes I often don't. I'm just like, I'm making stupid YouTube videos. So that's a matter of opinion. But, I think that is incredibly important. So that having been said, we all, of course, want the views. And so that gets to Amanda's question about why there might not be traffic, even though that it shows that it's ranking. And you say that for a video that people are searching for. And so that's an interesting thought. Let's go take a look at my own channel, just so I can maybe find an example of something where I'm ranking and not getting a lot of views. Because it's not that uncommon. And there can be several reasons. Before I dive too deeply into that, I want to talk about something quickly here. People often think that there is a magic ratio or number between your subscriber count and your view count. And that is, pardon my language, poppycock. There's no relationship there. Virtually none. YouTube doesn't present your videos to subscribers unless they have notifications on and set a particular way and everything's working right. Like, that is so many if statements that it's a bloody unicorn. You can't count on it. Subscribers are wonderful, but they do not automatically translate into views. You might hear some noise right now. It's 7 o'clock where I am. So just for our medical people, our first responders, doctors, nurses, grocery store clerks, FedEx guys, thank you. Normally, I'm out there, I've got my Rock Band drumsticks from like Rock Band on the Wii, and I'm banging an empty milk carton, but today I'm with you folks. So that's my applause there. That's my participation. So anyways, I was talking about the subscriber to view ratio. It's not a thing. Stop trying to make it a thing. Because that's not where the views come from. And when people see what they think is a disjointed ratio of views to subscribers, they jump to these conclusions. And in the absence of genuine information, people generally go to their fears or their suspicions, and they get very creative. And so a lot of people are like, oh, you bought your subscribers. That's not what happened. You got subscribers that aren't continuing to watch your videos because maybe YouTube's not showing it to them. Maybe they wanted to support you but not watch everything. Maybe you do different kinds of content and they like some of the videos and not others. So stop trashing other YouTubers for that, because that is a giant assumption based on very little data. There's a lot of people out there who have got a massive subscriber count because they had one viral video, and then they never made another video like that. And so, like, a lot of people, they don't clean up their subscriber list. They do it, hope that there's more, it doesn't come, whatever. And the algo figures out, the algorithm only looks back at about the last 100 or so videos you've watched. So if they've watched 100 videos since they've watched yours, the algo assumes that they don't care about your stuff anymore, or not even that they don't care, but more that they wouldn't watch it if showed to them, so it doesn't get showed to them. There's that whole thing. And so my channel right now, I'm doing this on my channel because I don't want to put any kind of negative spotlight on anyone else. I've got 2,000 subscribers, and I recently had a video that got 35 views. A little sore about it, can you tell? Now, my channel is about travel, and with everything going on in the world right now, my views have tanked. I'm getting lost 80% of my views. My revenue is tanked. I've lost 20%, 10%. Yeah, my views dropped about 70%. My CPMs dropped about 20%, which means my overall revenue is down 90%. We're not supposed to talk about money too much, but here's the skinny. I used to make $150 every month on this channel. I am now making $18 every month. And so that's one of those examples of those revenue sources that is going away because of the times that we're in. So from a win-lose finite game, I'm losing. I'm losing this quarter, this period of time, this year. But I'm not a finite player. I'm in this for the long haul. I'm playing an infinite game. I love doing this, and that's why I keep doing it. I do it so I can keep doing it. And so I keep getting this content out. You'll see 2 videos out last week, 3 videos out over the last few days. So I'm in it for the long haul. But let's take a look at this 35 view video and take a look with TubeBuddy. I because of my lost YouTube revenue, I got rid of my premium, so I have ads again. And it's been a while. So I've got TubeBuddy installed here. And so here we go. I have a tag, which was actually the tag I was targeting with this video. I rank number 1. And this is Portland Retro Gaming Expo, and it's a vlog. And so I shorten it to PRGE, sometimes known as Purge for short. And I'm ranking number 1. Let's take a look at it. By clicking on the keyword here, I'm bringing up my Keyword Explorer. Again, this is all TubeBuddy. The function that you are seeing right now is almost entirely free. So if you don't have TubeBuddy, affiliate link down below. Even if you just get the free version, it's going to change your life. So I rank number 1, and I score a fair. Now, what is this score? This score is made up of 2 main components. 1, the search volume. Are people really searching for this? 2, is there a lot of competition? And it balances those 2 competing things to give you a simple score so you can compare multiple keywords against each other with only 1 number for each keyword. Really quite good. So looking at it here, you'll see that the search volume is in this orange area. It's not great, it's not bad. And the competition is slightly higher. That's not a great combination. Now, just looking over here, there's also this optimization strength, which represents how well optimized the top ranking videos are. I won't get into that. That's kind of complicated. The point is, why am I not getting views? It's okay. It's fair. It's a 30 out of 100. It's not that bad. I think I should be getting more than 35 views for that. So why is that happening? There's a couple of reasons. One is that people are fickle, and so time is a factor. If I'm not sure how far back, what time frame TubeBuddy uses to gather this information. But if we assumed it was, and I'm making numbers up here, but let's say it was a year, well, that's not going to accurately reflect what's going on right now, right? Even if it was 6 months, it's still not going to accurately reflect what's going on right now. Portland Retro Gaming Expo traditionally happens in October. So if it was to encapsulate a time that includes when the event's happening, it probably would have a higher number. So that can be a small part of it. But another huge part of it is that thumbnail and your CTR. So it sounds like you were looking at 2 of the 3 real pieces of information that would answer your question, Amanda. So you've got whether or not you're ranking on the search term. And if you're ranking 1, awesome. Nailed it. Good SEO. 2, it sounds like you've looked into Keyword Explorer. You're savvy, you know your stuff. You probably looked in here. It's probably scoring better than a 30, whatever it is you're looking at, I imagine. But the views might still not be coming. And so the third piece of that is your thumbnail. And to understand the effectiveness of your thumbnail, you want to look at your CTR, which is the click-through rate. And so I'll just go back to my main page here so you can see again that thumbnail. Maybe my thumbnail's not that great, right? It's just my big bald head and my beard in front of something that, is an arcade, but you might not be able to tell from looking. That thumbnail's not my best work. I'll be honest about that. It's not great. And so I think the thumbnail, combined with the time that we're in right now, is probably letting me down a little bit. There's also some dimensions to these things that sometimes you just can't capture mathematically. A computer and an algorithm is great, but it can't know all things. And so one of the things is that when people go looking for videos from Portland Retro Gaming Expo, are they looking for a travel channel? Probably not. This is labor of love stuff for me. My kid loves Portland Retro Gaming Expo. You see him in one of the thumbnails there. He loves filming some stuff when we're there. It's fun for us, but this is not a money maker for my channel. Not that that's what my channel is about. It doesn't drive subscribers. It doesn't drive views. It just doesn't. I know that. I've known that for years. I still do it. Why? This is that passion project. It's fun for me. But when people go looking for this, they're probably looking for retro gaming channels. They're looking for Pat Contri and James Rolfe, Kelsey Lou Allen, Metal Jesus Rocks, Peanut Butter Gamer, Scott the Waz. If he were ever to go there, that'd be awesome. I'd like to see him. I've met Pat and James Rolfe several times. But they see those faces, they're going to click on that. And so I can't compete because I'm very well for that particular term, because on top of everything else, my thumbnail's not great, and the fact I'm a travel channel, but also there are known authorities and celebrities in the space, and their thumbnails are probably really close to mine. In fact, we can even... this won't be an incognito search, so this won't be a great test, but even if we were to just do a search... So this person here, for example, it looks like, Metal Jesus Rocks had this person on his panel. And then some of this other stuff is, a lot of this stuff that's coming up here after the first 3 results isn't even talking about Portland Retro Gaming Expo. This is about, like, the movie The Purge. So, and then there's some more down here. Like, that thumbnail is probably a lot better than mine. I'm free to admit that. I'm fine with that. And so that can be the 4th thing. So it's complicated. YouTube ain't easy. It's advanced success. You got to want it pretty bad. And so, you've got the search term ranked. Hopefully it's high volume. Then you got to consider your thumbnail and the CTR. And then also, are there authorities in the space that you're competing with? And the thing is, all those can be temporary. All those are moving targets, right? Another person could make a video on the subject and knock you out of that position. Or suddenly, there could be sudden interest in it. Like, right now, this year's Portland Retro Gaming Expo has been canceled. But maybe if they made a big announcement, maybe if they surprised the world and said, no, actually, we're going to come back in November or something, people would start searching it, the search volume would go up, and maybe I get more views. And then again, going against potential celebrities and authorities in the area. So it's a complicated question, but I love that question. It's a great question. Frankie says, I'm reporting police. I'm guessing what you mean is you report a lot of things in the Facebook group, and if so, we appreciate you. One thing that I really want to caution people who are in the Facebook group against doing is don't engage with the bad people. Don't let the bad people make you bad. Somebody today got muted for calling people a bunch of names. And it's bullying, right? And so he got muted for it, and he messaged me about it. He says, this isn't right. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? And there was some video that he thought was bad. And he thought would maybe violate YouTube's community standards. And maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. I'm not a judge of that. We don't enforce that in our group because we couldn't possibly. The way that they are written is too ambiguous, and I haven't received the training that YouTube gives to these people to make these determinations. So we enforce things like the fake engagement policy, because that's black and white, easy to understand, everybody knows it, fraud is fraud. But when it comes to, like, is this community standards okay, no, that is outside of my responsibility. And he was just like, I think this might violate community standards. I'm like, fine, go report it on YouTube. But don't call the person names. And he's like, well, I had a good reason. I'm like, bullies always have a reason. Almost always. Even if it seems like no reason to most people. They'll be like, oh, it's funny. Seems like no reason, but to them it's a reason. The villains are never villains of their own story. And so that's one of the funny things is, like, when we deal with bullying, and thank God it so rarely comes up. Out of the 4 rules, that one is almost never violated, and I thank my lucky stars for it. Because sometimes it's ambiguous, and humor can be hard to tell sometimes. But name-calling's cut and dry. It's like you called them by an insulting name that was not their name. That is consistent and objective. But the thing is that they always have a reason. Oh, well, they were being mean to me. And I'm like, that's no reason to turn yourself into a bully. There's just not. And so, yeah, I love the reporters, because you can, on mobile, you just long press on the comment and click report to admins. On desktop, there's 3 dots to the side of the comment. You click on that, report to group admins. That way you don't engage, you don't pick a fight, you don't let them turn you into something you're not, which is bad. And then also, my mod team of like 15 odd mods, we all see it. Sometimes people send me screenshots of stuff, and if it's a private message, that's fine. But if it's a comment or a post, don't give me a snipe hunt. Don't give me homework. Don't give me I'm not looking for the Maltese Falcon here. Like, that's okay. I aged myself there, but screw it. It's a great movie. Go check it out. Black and white. But like, hit the report so at least I can click right directly to it. Don't make me go searching for it. Like, come on. So for people who report in the group, I thank you. Spam comes with success, I've found, says Ace of Vegas. That is true. Sometimes it's before success. And some of those bots, we've all been getting those bot comments. There's a rumor going around about how if you reply to a bot comment, your channel will get hacked. I have not seen conclusive evidence of that. That makes zero sense to me. What I have seen is some people have done deep dives on the tools that people are using to do these spam comments. And so I don't even think it's necessarily a bot necessarily. It's like a person with a channel. They got a tool, they program the tool, and then they run it. And it goes and it spams these comments. And I wish YouTube would get a little wiser to it, because there are videos on YouTube that show you how to use it. But again, it's a signal to noise problem, and that's what spam is. Spam is a huge signal to noise problem. Because the group has gotten fairly large. I am constantly being contacted by individuals and companies and academic facilities and journalists, all with different requests. And so I have to vet them. And like right now, I'm actually in the process of vetting a service that I think is going to be pretty awesome. I'm hoping everything comes together for it, where you can very easily make animated intros and a whole end screens and all sorts of stuff. I'm really looking forward to trying their stuff out on my various channels, well, my 2 channels, and also like if everything goes according to plan, if they pass my test, basically, I'm really looking forward to sharing that in the group. And so we've got a lot of organizations have reached out. Some of them shady though. And there's a lot of spam, and there's a lot of people that just can't answer a simple question. They're like, hey, share my channel in a pinned post. I'm like, why? And they're like, because it'll get me views. And I'm like, that does nothing for the members of my group. You are offering them nothing. You are just asking for something for free selfishly. I try to find a polite way to say that, but that's part of what it is. But then every now and then something great comes along. TubeBuddy's an amazing example. That has changed my channel, changed my life. It's amazing. And I tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly with that. Like in the classic upload, it's kind of been nerfed, but that's YouTube pushing us all over to the new upload, and I'm on the wrong part of the diffusion of innovation. I'm the guy that, when it comes to the classic upload tool, I'm the guy who still would have like what is it, a rotary phone. The only time I would get rid of it is if they made me. I'm not like that with phones, but I think I am with my interfaces. I'm often the guy who's like, I want the old Facebook back. And then like a couple weeks later, I forget that I cared. But for YouTube, it's very frustrating. I don't like the new interface. But TubeBuddy isn't working great with the Classic right now because of that phased obsolescence. And so that's the honest truth. Ain't nobody paying me enough to lie to you. There are a couple people who have asked me to lie for them, to endorse their product. And they've acknowledged, they're like, yeah, this is just to collect emails, or this totally violates YouTube's terms of service. And I just refuse to do it. I'm not going to damage my reputation, my credibility. It would feel wrong. How would I sleep at night? And none of you would ever listen to me ever again. And I wouldn't blame you. I'd be right there with you. I'd have to like kick my own butt. That'd make a funny video. So, some things they failed because they just don't work. There was this Instagram thing that looked really promising, and it just never worked. And they were willing to throw money at me. And I'm like, no, your thing doesn't work. Come back to me when it works. I helped them a lot. I gave them a lot of bug reports, but at a certain point, I had to cut my losses. I'm like, I can't build this for you guys. For one thing, I lack the technological expertise. But we've got some amazing things that we have discovered. So TubeBuddy, number 1 with a bullet, absolutely amazing. Recently, Epidemic Sound. Now, I have been blessed with a guy who, when he is stressed, he writes music to relax. And he doesn't want fame or fortune, but he does want people to listen to the music. And so he's a friend of mine. He says, I said, like, hey, man, I remember we were at Boston Pizza one day, and he's talking about this. And I had been, like, I was getting content ID matches forever because I just used whatever MP3s I had as music. And he's talking about this, and I'm like, go on. And so, he's so fantastic that he writes music for me. Sometimes he takes special requests. The music I was playing at the beginning of this live stream is one of my favorite that he's done, which he actually wrote for one of our Portland Retro Gaming videos. It's called 80s Things, and it's got that great 80s vibe, which I just love. I could listen to that thing all day. And so, I'm blessed with that, and I'm happy to use his stuff. But for years and years and years, I was getting content ID matches. I was afraid to monetize my channel. And so that's why I'm loving Epidemic Sound. They are a known name in the industry. I've checked them out. I've vetted them. Believe me, when their rep reached out to me, I asked him like 100 questions, and I fact-checked it all. And so I've got a link in the description. It's an affiliate link, but you can get a free month with them. And the cool thing is you can use their whole library of music and sound effects. I haven't had time to check out their sound effects, but I'm excited to, because I think I could have some fun with that. That's the part I'm excited with, because I already got a guy that does music for me. But for that free month, whatever video you make during that month, you own the rights to forever. Now, you can't use their music and sound effects in new videos after that, unless you pay for the license, which is like $15 a month, which is, hey, a lot for some people and nothing to others. So, I mean, that's your choice. But at least get that free month. Why not? I mean, you know, if you wanted to be sneaky about it, what you would do is get a whole bunch of videos ready to edit and then just be ready to batch out like a month. You know what? If you're going to do like a Vlogmas type thing where you're going to put out a new video every day for like a month, that would not be the smart time to do it. But the idea is you own the rights to that video if you uploaded it when you had either the free month or when you had the paid subscription. And so you don't get any Content ID claims after that. And that was one of the things, that was my first question when they asked me. I was like, tell me about Content ID matches. And they did, and I looked into it, and it's pretty awesome. So that's another great thing we found. One thing that I found that I don't have linked in the description here, because it's really high level. This is some next level stuff that for most small YouTubers doesn't apply. There's something called Viral Stat. It gives you insane statistics in YouTube. Every now and then, I'm facing a problem where I need to know something about a channel. Or about my own niche or other things. And I'm like, oh, where would I get this in? And I'm like, this is a problem for Viral Stat. And then I'll open that up and I'll get it figured out. But it's so much data, it can be a little overwhelming. And so for early YouTubers, I don't really recommend it. That's why I don't talk about it a lot. But if you are sort of an established brand, you really want to vet somebody you're thinking about collaborating with, you want to see if somebody's on the level, they can give you tons of great information. It's like well beyond what you get with Social Blade. So those are some of the great things. But I do get so much spam. And I worry sometimes because I try to keep an open mind. A lot of these are startups. I've been working with people from universities in Ontario, London, and Israel over the last few years that have a lot of interesting ideas about new apps they want to make and things. I've been helping them out a little bit, but none of it's ready to share quite yet. I might be able to get people into a free closed beta for one of them, possibly. Stay tuned. I don't want to talk too much about it, but because I can't. I may have already said too much. I don't know. But it's difficult to vet those people because if they're a startup, they don't have an established brand. They're not yet certified with YouTube. Maybe they don't have the API access yet. So I'm getting in on the ground floor on some of those things that I hope to share with you if they become a point where they're useful. But that's the trick. And so we get spam, we get the spam comments, and we get those emails. And it's like, do I trust this person or not? One thing that often comes up in the group a lot is somebody says, "Oh, I want to pay you to do a review of a product for me." That sounds like an amazing opportunity. A sponsorship, yes. And it's funny, Stupid Robot Fighting League says he sponsors my beard, but no. He sponsored one episode of my podcast. I think he's like co-sponsors as in he supports my beard. Through Patreon, actually. It's funny because he's a patron of mine. If you look at like the frequent tags on things I put on Patreon, beard selfie is like number one with a bullet. Which I never in a million years would have thought is what I would be known anywhere for. Even though it's my small Patreon with 2 patrons. So thank you, Stupid Robot Fighting League. But, you get a cold email. I got like 3 emails from 3 separate addresses that all said the same thing about, hey, review our socks. And I was like, okay, well, I do wear socks, so I suppose. I mean, travel socks, maybe? Are they good on a plane? Okay, maybe I can do this. But the fact that it was like 3 separate identical emails from 3 different addresses, I'm like, I'll reply to the first one and I'll see what happens. And I'll get ready to block a lot of spam. And I never heard anything back on that one. But then there was other things like the Tron Power Cube guy, we had, and the Fine microphone, affiliate link down below for the microphone. They reached out to us. And so how do you manage that? How can you tell the legit cold offer from the suspicious one? Because, back in the early days of the internet, you got an email from someone you didn't know, obvious scam, right? But nowadays, when you might be an influencer, micro-influencer, YouTuber, whatever you are, brands will reach out to you. And so that is potentially the normal professional business way to go. How do you tell the good ones from the bad ones? You want to look at things like the domain on the email address and other things. But for me, the real giveaway is basically the devil's in the details. So if they want you to pay anything up front, you walk away. Hear me clearly. If they want you to provide money or to purchase something with your own money, and then they say they'll reimburse you, walk away. I am not a large influencer when it comes to my channels. Small YouTubers Boost is 1,000, Vacation Impossible is 2,000. And there have been a lot of companies that approached me from that, not from Facebook. Facebook, yeah, I'm at 200,000. That's kind of a magic number. If I had that many subscribers, I would look at quitting the day job. That's what they say. They say that's like 200,000 subscribers is like the magic number. But I don't think that corresponds to Facebook. So these are people who've contacted me solely because of my very small channels, right? And there were still legitimate offers in there. And so it can happen to a small channel. A lot of companies, I don't know about recent developments, but they had been trending towards micro-targeted advertising because the costs are low, the risks are relatively low. They don't want to, like a Logan Paul situation, where they don't want to be associated with somebody that could damage their brand. That's what they watch out for. But it's a low-risk proposition for them. And so a lot of them are seeing that as a really good way of generating goodwill in a community, getting word of mouth, getting endorsements that actually mean something. Authenticity is so important. I could put on a suit and a tie and give you a PowerPoint about how awesome TubeBuddy is, and use a lot of business speak, and I don't think that that'll mean much to you. I can show you how I use it every day, how I'm using it right this very moment in my browser. I think that's different. And so authenticity means so much because we want something that's real. We've been sold to, we've been lied to so much and so many times over our lives, and we can smell it, and sometimes we smell it when it's not there. Maybe the person just walked through something on their way over. And so that's really what it is it's all about like, okay, if they're willing to send you a free product, which is like, that's sort of what I've had that deal with Fine and Tron, for example. They sent me some free products, and I reviewed them, and I reviewed them honestly. That's a key thing. If they ever say that it has to be favorable, renegotiate or walk away. But don't do that. Don't sell out in that way. Although it's funny, people, like I said, they've come up to me and they said, hey, I want you to lie for me and I'll pay you. I told them what my price was. I want a Tesla. I want a Tesla with self-driving. In Canada, I think the cheapest one is about $60,000 Canadian. That is my price. So if your bribe isn't at least that, sorry, my integrity's not for sale. It's good to know your price. And yeah, no one ever gets to that many digits with me. 3 digits is kind of where I live right now. Or just free products. And that's great, but be honest, because your integrity is not worth whatever they're throwing at you unless it's, maybe a Tesla. I did the math, and to live out the rest of my life on a cruise ship would cost me, I think, $2.1 million. So that is also one of my prices. But seriously, don't sell out cheap. Just don't, because it's not something that you can get back. You can't make the argument, I don't want to tell people to turn down money if you're struggling to pay your rent. That's a choice that's between you and your conscience. And I understand people having to make difficult choices like that. But if you're at all in a stable situation, don't sell out your integrity, because it will cost you in the long run, and it will devalue you such that you might get $100 today, but you're not going to get $1,000 tomorrow as a result of that. So, there's a lot of people out there who are like, oh, you buy the product off Amazon and then we will reimburse you. There's no guarantee that reimbursement is coming. I've also had people reach out to me and say, yeah, we want you to review our product for free. Sure. Okay, you go and buy it and use this code. I plug in the code and it saves me 20%. I do a quick search on the internet and find that there are other just random sale promotions out there for 25%. All it was a marketing email. It was a sale, and it wasn't even a good one. I was kind of mad. If you could tell. Because also they said free, and then suddenly it's a discount. And it's like, no, the language changes. When the story and the language changes like that, that's a huge red flag. Huge red flag. Be willing to walk away. And if you're an infinite player and you're doing it because it's a passion, something you love, and you're not in it for the money, it's a lot easier to walk away. It's a lot easier to tell them to pound sand and say that's not what you're about, because what fulfills you is hopefully something else that comes from your self-expression. So that's just part of how I manage the signal to noise problem with spam. But it can be hard. Let's see here. Got any tips for new live streamers? That's DJ Talks. Yeah, you know what? I've been reading another book. I don't have an affiliate link, so I haven't set it up yet. It's called You're Awesome by Neil something or another. And I was just, I kid you not, last night reading about something where he says, find small ponds. And so the idea is find something I think people hopefully have a good sense of what they're capable of. They know their educational background, for example. So, like, I have a degree in political science and economics. So I know that about myself, right? And so what the book basically suggests is go find somewhere where you're slightly overqualified and then go work there because you can make a big difference, right? And why am I mentioning this now? Where that goes is the opposite of that is if you go into a big pond and you're a small fish and you're just struggling to get noticed. And this metaphor works for YouTubers on so many different levels. But it's like we see, a Philly D or somebody who's massively successful, a James Rolfe, a Pat Contreras, somebody. And we want to reach for the same ring that they're reaching for. And we're just setting ourselves up for failure and disappointment. So what I would say, and I think it's really important to have attainable goals as much as possible. And so if you're starting off live streaming, for one thing, forget about having any kind of targets or goals. Don't make it about watch time or likes or comments or subscribers. Really what it is your goal, my goal for my live streams, have one engaged person that can keep me talking. I did improv for 4 years. Just give me an ask for and I'll talk forever. You've probably figured it out. I am so far behind in chat right now because I'm working my way through all these prompts. That's so in terms of like goal setting, set a goal of having just one engaged viewer that keeps you going, because that's all it takes at this early stage. And that should be your definition of success early on. It's still my definition of success. I've been live streaming like this for like 2.5 years, 3 years now. I don't know how long it's been. 2 years probably. In terms of the technology, again, don't overcomplicate. Don't feel like you need to go to the most, Streamlabs right away. I'm still using vanilla OBS, and I'm doing what you see here with that. It's relatively straightforward. There are some tutorial videos. We've got a couple on this channel, actually, about it. Not that I've made, but they were member tip submissions. If you would like to submit a video for this channel, as long as it's a tip that helps other YouTubers, that's fantastic. Here's the deal if you want to do that. Reach out to me. I'm all over social media. You can find me pretty easily. So what you would do is you'd send us the video. We would retain the rights to the video, but you're certainly free to mention and show your video throughout it. We will put a link in the description. We will put a link in the info card. We will put a link in the end card to your channel. But if you've got a tip video that you think would help other YouTubers and you want to be featured on this channel, that's the deal. So feel free to reach out. We've got probably at least a half dozen of them already. My Vacation Possible channel actually submitted one because I was on a road trip and my friend John was like, I've got a tip for your YouTubers. And I'm like, let's do this. Film it. So anyways, in terms of that, so like start small. If you go back and you look at my old live streams, I started off on Facebook Live using my phone. And my phone turned me into a glitch monster. It started off with like a pixel here and here that would turn gray or green and then not change. And then eventually it would grow all over my face and I became this pixel monster. It was trash. Then I tried with my Surface 3, same problem. Then I decided, I need to move it to YouTube. YouTube are the people who know how to do this. I think the glitches were Facebook because it was two devices, same problem, right? As soon as I came to YouTube, it got a lot more clear. And so if it just starts off as you could be, and my first live streams was me pointing a camera at myself, and I wasn't even sharing part of my screen because I really hadn't figured that part out yet. So what I would suggest is start with something that you're comfortable with, something bite-sized, and make incremental improvements. Don't start off trying to look like Roberto Blake. I would love to have a setup like his and know how to use a camera like him, but I don't. And so what's my... I don't want to be Roberto Blake because then I couldn't watch Roberto Blake, so I really like him, in case you couldn't tell. It would be awesome to work with him or even just meet him one day. I'd love that. He motivates and inspires me. Even when he's talking about video, like he talks about subjects that don't like, he's like, oh, here's how you do well in Upwork. And I'm like, I don't do that, but it motivates me just to hear him speak with passion. So like, that's great. I have a different voice than him. I have a different message and a different focus. I'm not going to talk about camera equipment. I'll talk about sound equipment. I'll talk about the things I know, my personal experience, hopefully throw in a couple more jokes. That's my approach. So don't compare yourself to something big and don't necessarily feel like you got to get it right away. Pick something bite-sized that you feel you can do with comfort and confidence. And this is all the more important for live streaming because you don't get a second take. This is all live. If I drop an F-bomb, it's there. I could maybe go back and edit it out. That ain't easy. If I say the wrong thing, if I stand up and I'm not wearing pants, I am wearing pants. But if, something like that happens, it's out there. It's out there right away. And so I'm not trying to scare you, but let's be honest about the challenges around it. And so in some ways it's harder, in some ways it's easier, right? Because you don't need a script necessarily for a live show if it's this kind of a thing where you're just talking extemporaneously. So you don't necessarily have to have the greatest equipment. You don't need a crew necessarily, a webcam, and a dream, right? That can make it happen from a technological standpoint, but there's benefits and drawbacks to everything. So maybe you don't need a cameraman, but what then you need to do is something to fill the time. And so, since you're having to improvise and speak extemporaneously the whole time, it should be within your comfort. Right? If I had a beautiful setup like Roberto Blake's and a perfect camera, it was funny, in isolation, I went onto the Best Buy website and looked up 4K webcam, and it crashed their website repeatedly. That was funny for me. They're not going to make it if they don't fix their website, especially not through things like this. If we got a second wave coming, you got to be able to take online orders as a technology company. Separate rant. Anyways. I would love to upgrade my camera equipment, get a backdrop or something. There's a lot of things that I kind of wish I had in terms of doing this better. But I understand OBS now. I am comfortable with this layout that I've built for myself, and I'll be happy to make incremental changes over time that I'll be comfortable with. And when I'm comfortable, I can express myself more clearly. I can focus on what matters. So in terms of the advice, you were probably thinking about, I'm going to tell you what camera and stuff to buy. I will tell you what microphone to buy. It's in the description. Go get the Fine. It's $35. If you don't have a good microphone, get it. Get a $10 pop filter. Amazon US affiliate link down below as well. Have those things. For the equipment, yeah, sure. For the webcam, I haven't found one that I really like. Logitech's are pretty good. That's not what I'm using right now. The one I'm using right now is a gift, but, my advice is more about the psychology of it and the comfort, because and I think this is the thing. I think people, and a lot of people have said stuff like that they talk about this. A lot of people will turn off a video or a live stream if the audio is trash because it will give them a headache. I get that. I do that. Sometimes there's people that I love to support, and I'm watching them, and they're static, or it's, there's something else that's giving me a headache. I just can't watch. I will watch a blurry video if I can. People listen to podcasts, right? People kind of look at Instagram, but not for people like me. I know my audience. I know what I look like. I'm not going to be an Instagram model anytime soon. Although there was a running gag last year on my road trip about being a leg model, but that was a gag. I like to think I have a okay voice. I've received a lot of compliments about my voice. Not so much my face, and that's okay. You can't be great at everything. So, but podcasts are a thing, right? And so if you have to focus on something, either audio or video, honestly, focus on the audio, because that's the thing that they'll just close their eyes and listen like they do to a podcast. And that can be great. And that's fine. You can find an audience that way. So priority 1 is audio. Priority 2, and I say it as priority 1 because it's relatively cheap and easy to get right, I think. With just a minimal expense, investment, and experimentation, you can get the audio right, I think, pretty quickly. And if you got some people in chat who can help you with a 5x5, then you know when you've landed it, which is nice. And again, thank you for everybody helping with my sound check. Once you get the audio right, just because it's easier, I put that number 1. Number 2 is your comfort level. Know that you can go for whatever duration you want to go for and have enough to talk about and be comfortable in the camera. And then after that, worry about the technical things. Okay, do I share my screen? Am I too big? Am I blocking the thumbnails? If you were doing, that's what I think about when I'm working on this. Should I hide more of my subscriptions? Is it bad that people can see who I'm subscribed to? I don't think so. I don't know. So you can think about those things, but that should come third. I really think sound, comfort and content, and then maybe picture and the technological things that you've got going on. And it's funny because you think about live streaming, and one of the first things you probably jump to, I was a big fan of the Mario Marathon for over a decade. I was on it for a couple of years, which was fantastic. I wish they come back. I'd be happy to fly to Indianapolis to be a part of it again. At the drop of a hat, Brian, if you're watching, I will climb back out of that couch. But that having been said, when I thought, it'd be cool if I could do something like that. Maybe it was kind of a copycat thing, and so that's why I never really pursued it. It wasn't a core why. That was a little Me Too, I think, not in the hashtag Me Too movement thing, but I would like to do this as well kind of thing. But for me, it was how do I capture the video and set everything up, and what if I'm raising money for charity? I need a donation counter and a timer, and I need a chat window that I can interact with, and all this stuff. And it was just way too intimidating because I thought about that third piece. if I had worked the other way. Sound, confidence, then the technology of the picture and interactivity. That is, I think, the way to focus. So if you start off with a blurry image, but good quality sound, and you're speaking about something you care about. I know you do like 80s and 90s cartoons and TV reviews and stuff like that. I haven't found time to watch your content. I feel bad about that. I really should. If you ever do like a review like Saved by the Bell or something, I think that'd be fun to watch. I know you've done some stuff, I think, on Transformers. I should go hunt that down if I ever find free time again. But, and if people are looking for DJ Talk stuff, he's very active on our subreddit as well. You can definitely find his stuff there. But yeah, that's what I think to focus on. And then when you start to have fun with it, that's the best. I have fun with this, and it's funny. Sometimes people accuse me of all sorts of crazy things. And they say, oh, he never helps anybody. And I'm like, well, I come onto this live stream and I love helping people. That makes me feel great. And there's, in philosophy, there's something called the philosophy of reinterpreting motivations. Am I doing it because I want that dopamine hit or whatever the other happiness juice is that I get from a sense of helping other people? Maybe it's feeding my ego. I don't know. But hey, if people get helped, you got there. You got the important thing, I think. And so maybe I just do this because I can't afford therapy. I don't know. But this is fun for me. And so if it's fun for you, I think that comes through. I mean, I can't speak to what other people think, but maybe in chat, like, I don't want this to become an ego exercise, but maybe to help answer, I think, this question. For those of you who do keep tuning in time and time again, Stupid Robot Fighting League, Ace of Vegas, Frankie London, DJ Talks, people who, you can ask yourself, DJ, why do you tune into this live stream? Maybe it's for the technical tips, but you can get technical tips from a lot of people. Why is it this one that you come back to? Is it because the chat's not too busy and, like, I'll actually get to read it instead if you were to go for, like, Nick Niven, he'd never see your comment? Maybe it's that. And so maybe what you're concerned about is interactivity. It could be whatever. But for those of you who do keep coming back, I'd be curious, not just to feed my ego, but hey, I'll take a compliment. But like, why do you keep coming back to these live streams? Especially if I'm giving you reasons not to watch. I should shut up right now. But why do you keep coming back? If I've already reviewed your channel, some of you have reviewed your channels multiple times. I've given you tons of tips. I am spent. Potentially. I don't know. I mean, you could be in different places, your journey. I have different ideas, different times, and I'm always learning new things. But something keeps bringing some people back, and it's hugely gratifying. It means so much. It's so wonderful to see these names coming back up time and again. It's such a community that we've built. It's amazing. But I'm curious, what is it that brings you back? And if you share that in chat, maybe DJ, you can see what those responses are and think, what do you want your audience to be thinking about and coming back for? Like I said, I watch Roberto Blake because watching him be himself gives me energy. It inspires me. It sometimes gives me ideas. I sometimes learn technical things, but it's really often just motivational. I'm like, yes, that's right. That's the right attitude. Attitude can be a huge thing. And how can you show your sincere, honest, inspiring, energetic attitude if you're not comfortable? So don't put pressure on your shoulders. Don't try to do the most complicated technical thing, and don't compare yourself to anybody but yourself. And once you get comfortable, once you start having fun with it, then work on incremental improvements. I used to have my thumbnail for these live streams. It was okay. I've got this new one I'm very proud of. Not bad, right? I like it. I think it's better than the old one. Little incremental improvements, because then also, if you're an infinite player like I am, and you enjoy the process, and the journey is a big part of it, as you're going along, you get to enjoy every increment. If you jump straight to the end, if you had overnight success, yes, that would be amazing. If I woke up tomorrow with 200,000 subscribers, not just group members, subscribers, if my affiliate sales were off the charts, if I could quit my day job tomorrow, if I, was invited to speak at VidCon or some other thing, all of that would be amazing. And you know what? Please. If Spotify reached out to me and offered me money to be one of their exclusive podcasters, I am on Spotify, Vacation Impossible. But, not getting the Joe Rogan, $100 million deal. But if something like that had happened, that would be amazing. And I mean, let's be honest with ourselves for a second. And you could think I'm crazy here. And yeah, I would be happy. I would be like 99% happy. But honestly, I think if I'm honest with myself, a little part of me, maybe I wouldn't feel it right away because I'd be in amazed, heaven over the whole thing. But at some point, I know I would look back and this is a weird confession, but I think I'd feel a little cheated. I don't know if that's crazy, but because I didn't get to enjoy every step in the journey, right? Like, if you wake up to 1 million subscribers that you don't have today, tomorrow you wake up and you got 1 million subscribers, well, What about that 10,000 subscriber play button moment? You were kind of robbed of that, weren't you? Isn't that a little weird? And I believe it. No one watching this right now would trade 1 million subscribers for 10 subscribers. That's the worst deal in history. Like Darth Vader wouldn't even propose that to Londo. You know what I'm saying? Deal's getting worse and worse all the time. That wouldn't, fly. But at the same time, wouldn't it be better to have both? And so maybe I'm making excuses because I'm small, maybe I'm crazy, but think about it, like there's so many steps in that journey. Ace of Vegas, you're creeping up on 5,000. I met at Portland Retro Gaming Expo years ago a guy called Rule of Two Review. His channel's out there. You know what? I wonder how he's doing. Let's go take a look at him. This guy was so nice to me. And you know what? This is a great reason to always be nice. I talked to this guy for like 15 minutes in line. There he is. Waiting to meet James Rolfe for the first time. And we were talking, and he was so supportive. My channel wasn't even at 100 subscribers yet. I was at like 34, some embarrassingly small number, because also I had been at it for like a decade, and I'd only been taking it seriously for like less than a year. I don't even know if I'd started taking it seriously at that point. I don't know. I think I had business cards, so maybe. And it would have been the first version of my business cards. If you are talking to people and you're just a talking head and you can find a prop, use the prop, give them something else to look at. So this was sort of the first version of my business card, to give you kind of the front and the back here. This was before I even had 100 subscribers, so none of these links is YouTube. I had our email, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I got this from Vistaprint. It's blurry, but no glare. So anyways, that was my original business card. Since then, through Vistaprint, I got these cool little card ones, and that one's, it's got my custom URL on there, Vacation Impossible. So I think I gave him a business card, and he did subscribe. He followed me on Twitter. He shared some of my videos on Twitter. The nicest guy. He was so encouraging. He was saying, like, you know what? What was he said? He said, with your attitude, you're gonna get there in no time, man. You gotta get at it, and you gotta go out and get yourself out there and learn what you gotta learn. But you know what? You have. He said to me, you have the things that you need to succeed. You got the attitude. You got the personality. And I mean, I struck up a conversation with him as total strangers in line. So, I guess there's something for that, I don't know, maybe forming that kind of connection. But I'll never forget that. I won't. If I woke up with 1 million subscribers tomorrow, I would consider that part of that success was his. Part of my success comes from so many people. I didn't create Small YouTubers Boost. It was somebody named Alexis. So part of my success is hers. And so many people along the way. Ace of Vegas. I may have contributed to his success. He's contributed to mine. He shouts me out in his podcast. I still, Ace, if you ever figure out that tripod pocket, thing that you had, send me a link to that, because I want one. That's been on my, that's something I've been on the lookout for. I haven't really seen a good one like yours. I went looking at like a Ross and a Marshalls, and they had some like crazy looking ones. Like there were some pink ones that were like bejeweled, and I'm like, I'm not getting that. I'm sorry, I'm tragically stuck in gender stereotypes. But I learned things from you, from when we were in Vegas and stuff, and so from so many different places, and so like be nice because it's the right thing to do, but also because like. There's karma and things come back to you and you never know. And so this guy was just so nice to me for a few minutes, and here I am shouting him out to my audience of I don't know how many people. But here's was the thing that he was talking about because I talked about my journey, he talked about his. And he was just about to hit 5,000 subscribers. And that's why I mentioned that, because Ace is getting close to 5,000 subscribers. And so this was shortly before the Nintendo Switch came out. So Nintendo had reached out to him, and they said, look, we will fly you to New York to try the Nintendo Switch before it's available to the public, and maybe do a little review on your channel. They were going to pay for the airfare, and I think he was going to have to pay for the hotel. But still, they were going to cover like the massive part of the expense. I think it was like airfare and hotel they were covering, but they weren't paying him for the video or something. I forget what the exact deal was. But a condition of it was it wasn't cemented until he hit 5,000 subscribers. And we were in line, and he was checking his phone. He's like, I'm going to hit it any minute now. I think probably by the end of today, definitely by the end of the week, probably tomorrow, was when he was going to hit 5,000. And so I learned in that moment that 5,000 for some companies, some big companies, we're talking Nintendo here, It's huge. Been around for 100 and some odd years. Best-selling console, the Switch, if I'm not mistaken, or fastest selling, I think, fastest. For them, 5,000 subscribers was the threshold. That was your key to get in the door, right? And so, Ace, you're creeping up on 5,000, and I'm very excited to see what comes next. Because maybe 5,000 doesn't mean to other companies what it meant to Nintendo back then, a couple years ago. I know that you got that promo code from your live stream. I wasn't able to watch it. I wish I had. But you got a promo code from the people who made the app so that they could get the free chips. That's amazing. I wanted to just pick your brain. I'm like, what did that outreach look like? You get an email? Like, did you believe it right away? Like, what was that experience? That would be amazing. And so, like, for me, I think that's a milestone moment. You know, we get caught up in numbers a lot. 5,000 subscribers, 100,000 views, et cetera, et cetera. But sometimes those milestone moments are experiences, not numbers. And I don't know. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, that must have been a hell of a moment, man. I would think. It makes me smile thinking about it, even though it didn't happen to me. I feel like I'm a small piece of that. So, you know, that's a big moment you got coming up, and I'm excited to be around for it and to maybe be some small part of it. But how did you pick that out of the spam? I was talking about signal to noise. How did you realize that was real? I gotta know. Let's see. Frankie says, I love mod Melanie. Melanie is fantastic. I can't say enough good things about her. Oh, she's in the chat. Awesome. Yeah, she's modding here in chat. What about mod Melanie? I'm here. Speak her name and she shall appear. Not unlike what, Candyman and Beetlejuice, but like in a good way. No, Melanie, I can't say thank you enough to Melanie. She's been a real rock on the team. I love all the mods. But since we're talking about Melanie, let's talk about Melanie for a moment. She's been so supportive and helpful. I've got numbers that talk about the amount of work that she does in the group, which is just insane. I don't know why you would follow this crazy person, but thank you for everything that you do. The group is immeasurably better that you're around to help out. And so that's amazing. And Melanie is actually one of the only mod who also helps manage the private messages of our page. So on Facebook, you've got your groups, but you can also have pages. And so she actually helps respond to messages there, I've noticed. That's super helpful. There's one message there that somebody's asking about a blacklist thing you mentioned that I don't understand. So if you get a chance, here I'm praising you and I'm assigning you work. No rush or anything. It's just I don't know how to finish that conversation because I don't know what you were talking about. But no, seriously, thank you so much. You know, it really... I wish I could do more. I don't know how. I'll find ways to express my gratitude and appreciation for all that you guys do. There's just no way to measure something like that, but it's immeasurable. What do we got here? Let's see. Chris 10 TFF Gaming and Vlogs was responding to DJ Talk saying, okay, I thought that's what you would have been streaming. Are you a gamer? Yeah, no, I don't think... I mean, he might also be, but I think he's really about... yeah, like the 80s and 90s cartoons, TV shows, kids shows reviews and stuff. I need to check out his channel sometime. Let's see. My streams are chats with friends and other creators. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, okay. My chat's going weird. It like wouldn't let me scroll, and now it's scrolling on its own. I'm actually using Internet Explorer for chat. Maybe I need to use a modern browser. Maybe that's what I should do. Because I actually tried chatting in chat and I got an error. Like, it's my stream, come on. Wow, now I can't scroll very far back to the old chat. Okay, so I'm just going to jump ahead because I missed stuff. I went too slowly. Life is getting back to normal in New Zealand. Yeah, I heard New Zealand basically declared itself like no new cases, and then they were opening up. So they apparently locked down super hard and cleared it up, and then they just straight up opened. And apparently everyone went for coffee, according to the news reports I saw from ABC. And I remember thinking, I was like, well, that's good for John. I'm super glad. And I mean that. Not a hint of sarcasm there. Let's see here. Hey, Ray, do you have any idea what has been going on with the views drop issue on YouTube? I'm not familiar with an issue in particular. I can speak generally. Let's call up Social Blade, and maybe I'll embarrass myself some more here. Social Blade. They nerfed Social Blade a little bit and put some of it behind a paywall, so hopefully this will still be here. And don't get me wrong, I love Ergo. The guy that created Social Blade is a strong supporter of the Mario Marathon. He always donates like at least $1,000 every year. Love Ergo. Good guy, good guy. Yeah, you know what? This probably doesn't have the daily stats anymore. I don't think you can see this without the paywall. Yeah, you got to get like a subscription to see this, which is a shame. Well, let's just talk about it. So, you can, one of the things that, I should begin almost every segment like this. One of the things that annoys me about the group, for a group that I love, it annoys me a lot, is people are often saying like, oh, my views are going down. What the hell does that mean? Because that can mean a lot of things. It seems like most times when people say that, they don't mean the words that they say. Because what they say is views going down. What they mean is my latest video did not perform or get as many views as my old one. Or my, my daily views are declining. Which, I mean, like, wow, did that ever happen on my channel? Thanks to the virus that shall remain nameless. So, that's one thing. And that is like so many potential reasons. Like, we'd have to do a deep dive into your specific video and channel to answer that. So that's problematic. I'm gonna have some Tums. I get acid reflux. Don't worry, it's not stress. I'm good. I'm at home on live internet. Anyways, then there's the question of their views actually dropping. My video had 180 views. Now it has 75. What happened? I suspect that's more what you're talking about. This happens because of audits. So YouTube conducts automated audits on the views and subscribers and other metrics that it uses, watch time and whatnot, to make sure that people aren't using bots to fake and artificially inflate their content in the hopes of triggering their algorithm so that then they will get legitimate audiences, one presumes. There's a recent scandal about buying streaming views of like a couple new songs and stuff, and I don't care much, but it's interesting. I kind of had to watch the Philly D segment about it, if only because I know it's going to come up, about bot views and things like that. So I educated myself a little bit about it, even though I'm like, I just don't care. I like Ariana Grande a little, but the other two people I don't care about. They both seem kind of like losers. Bieber's like, oh, remember my name's on that song too. And I'm like, yeah, you're trying to say don't just attack the woman, I think, but you sound like don't forget I'm awesome. And that's not as good a look. And then the other guy I don't even want to talk about, he's got a dodgy, criminal history. So, putting all that aside. YouTube conducts audits. Now, when do these audits occur? It's normally within the first 48 hours. So if you see a video of yours go up, 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 and then suddenly the view count actually decreases. I'm not talking about a new video getting fewer views or less views per day. I'm talking about like views you had now go away. The number does go down. In that scenario, it's most likely because of an audit. And this is imperfect, as any system is likely to be. They don't want people paying a bot farm to fake views, right? They don't want, or being hacked, or however they do these things. Bots, presumably. Hey, you know what? Speaking of, like, the spam and people, like, approaching me with dodgy stuff, I got approached a few months ago by this guy. He's like, hey, man, I want to offer something to your group. And I'm like, all right, go on, tell me more. Although I'm more suspicious. I'm like, yeah, what is it? He's like, look, we've got a bank of cell phones in Southern California. And we've got it set up so that we can get you a whole bunch of views using these cell phones. I'm like, stop right there. Fake engagement policy. You're going to get channels shut down. He goes, no, man, you understand. We've worked with some celebrities. We've worked with Academy Award-winning actors. This works. And I'm like, so you're successfully committing fraud is your argument? Get out of here with this. I really hope he was just lying to me to get money, because I hope that that is not a thing. And I hope anyone who's tried that gets caught. I'd like no apologies about that. You disagree with me? Come at me in the comments. I don't even care. Commit fraud, you deserve to get caught. Game over. Especially when people like, this one, and most of you are probably hustling your butt off trying to do it the right way. So anyways, YouTube is trying to stop this. But the problem is that signal to noise problem again. There's so much traffic. You've heard the statistic about how much content gets uploaded every minute or hour. I'm not going to repeat it. Partly because I think those numbers need updating, especially in the last 3 months. I bet they've gone up. So how do you do it? You got to automate it. And so you take your best guess and you program an algorithm or a filter or a set of rules or a script and you run it and you take your best shot. And you hope that you and I don't know what the philosophy at YouTube is. I mean, they're part of Alphabet, who used to be Google, who used to say don't be evil as their slogan, their internal corporate slogan, which is kind of cool, but it should be more positive. It should be good. People, and again, this is a Simon Sinek thing. They say you can't hold a negative in your brain. So if you say don't hit that pylon, you're going to drive straight into that pylon. But if you say drive down the open road, you'll drive down the open road. It's like driving. You look where you want to go because that's where you're going to go. It's called target fixation. Anyways, sidebar. So they're trying to do their best. And so I suspect they probably have an 80-20 rule, or maybe like a 90% rule, where they're like, you know what, if it's right 80% of the time, that's probably good enough. 90% of the time, whatever it is, but that's not right all the time. So it's going to accurately on occasion detect what is legitimate activity as bot activity. So let me tell you a story. I'll bring up the video as visual aid here. Sit right back and you'll hear a tale. A tale that I can't spell. All right, let's go to my channel here. And I want to talk to you about sunshine. I'm Ray. I'm going to talk about sunshine. This second video right here, the Carnival Sunshine. It's a cruise ship, not a popular subject these days, let me tell you. I made this video 3 years ago. And it's pretty cool. My kid's in it. This was before I had somebody writing music for me, so it uses some popular pop music from the 90s. I think Steal My Sunshine by Len. A little on the nose, I'll admit. So anyways, we got this video, right? And it comes out. And so, you know, like every YouTuber, well, almost every, like 90 some odd percent of YouTubers, I share it in a variety of places where my friends and family and audience and strangers can hopefully find it. And so a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, named Karen, very nice person, she shared it. She watched it at her office. And then on her lunch break, she shared it with her coworkers on their lunch break, because they were all just sitting around. She's like, hey, I got a video you guys should watch. It's 4 minutes and 11 seconds out of your life. You know, check it out. So she liked it. She shared it with them. I was trying to convince her to go on a cruise, and so that's one of the reasons I was sharing it. That's why I make my videos. I'm just trying to convince my friends to travel with me. That's really all it is. That's where it started anyways. So she works in an office with like 100 other people. And so over their lunch hour, 100 people checking out the video. And she said to me, she was messaging me, she was texting me on the phone. She was like, hey, I just shared it at the office. Everybody loves your video. You know, they thought this part was funny. They thought this part was cute. They love your kid. It's great. Half of them want to go on cruises now. And that's fantastic. Now, this was back in the day where my channel was much smaller, 3 years ago. You know, long before we were monetized, long before I had somebody writing music for me. I think it's on the long end of 3 years ago. It's probably closer to 4 years ago, because I went on that cruise in 2015. So that video probably came out in 2016. Anyways. And so I watched the views go up in real time on the app. And so I had like 120 odd views or something in like the first couple hours. I'm like, back then, that was amazing for me. Back then, my goal was 100 views within the first week. It would be good. Within the first day would be amazing. Now, the channel's grown. I've learned some things. I found some success here and there. So now I've shifted it, right? So now I want to get 100 in my first hour. That's amazing. 100 in my first day is good. 100 in the first week is acceptable. Anything after that, I kind of feel like, yeah, all right, maybe I nerfed that one. Maybe I fumbled the ball somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't have made that video. Whatever. So, anyways, and then I check back like an hour or two later, and now it was like at 30 odd views. So I lost 90 views. And the best I can determine is that YouTube saw that in a short period of time, it got a lot of traffic from people who hadn't viewed it before, all with similar IP numbers, all geographically co-located. A bunch of people watching the same video at the same time in one office. Well, that's got to look like a bot farm, right? I don't blame them. I was not happy. To this day, I'm a little bitter, but I understand. I get where they're coming from. They can't know everything, and they're not going to get it right every time. And so sometimes you're going to lose views. And sometimes the audits are not in the first 48 hours. The vast majority of them are, but every now and then, you know, it goes back further. And I don't know, because they keep it secret, exactly their processes there. And so there was a day where I lost like 1,100 views across my channel. And so it used to show on Social Blade on the daily numbers. I had this one day with negative views. And so again, if somebody was to look at that and just assume the worst without any information, without asking, they're going to think that, oh, well, he probably bought 1,000 views and that was them getting caught. And that's how that often happens. But false positives do happen as well. So if you're thinking about collaborating with someone and you're worried that they do that kind of stuff and you don't want to get caught up in that web of fraud, that's one data point. You could ask about it. You could say, hey, what happened there? You could see if it happened more than once. You could see what the number is. On a channel like mine, and I've never featured my channel this much on these live streams, on a channel like mine with 732,000 views, been around since 2006, the loss of 1,000 views, I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's not a huge percentage. So even if I was a bad guy, and I'm not, even if I did buy those views, and I've never done that in my life, as a percentage overall, and that it was coming, fairly far along in my channel's success and lifespan, hopefully a thinking person would take a step back and be like, well, that doesn't really look like fraud. That looks like something happened. And more to the point, you don't control who subscribes or who watches. We were talking about spam earlier. Want to be YouTube friends? Man, it was like, what does that even mean? If you're asking for a collab, ask for a collab. Don't... Friends? Anyways, my personal rant. I just see it too much in the comments. It's such common spam, and it's such lazy request for sub that I just say what you're doing so I can get rid of you easier and faster. With no hesitation, no doubts, no delay. So anyways, it's not necessarily your fault. I mean, if you did buy views, well, that's on you. But if you didn't and you wonder why something like that might happen, it could be one of those false positives. It also could be, like if it happens to your subscriber count, maybe some folks came along and thought you were down for sub. And then when you didn't reciprocate, they unsubbed. Or there could have been, and I mean, sometimes I think I get a little bit of this just because I run the group. So like as the admin, sometimes people, hunt down my channel, whatever. And I mean, this one in particular, Small YouTubers Boost, is about helping YouTubers. I want YouTubers to come here because I think it'll help them. So it's in the announcements, it's in the units. I link to specific videos that I think inform people, give tutorials, whatever. Right now, this live stream is sitting as an announcement in the group, just so people can find it easier. I'm going to unmark it as an announcement as soon as the show's over. But that drives, some people, and some of those people, especially they're new to the group, new to YouTube, don't know the rules, or they're just scammers, they might subscribe with the hope of reciprocal subscription. And maybe they don't even unsub. Maybe they're those loyal scammers. They say there's no honor among thieves, but having not been a thief, couldn't tell you. But can you tell that I'm like really savage against these suffers? I'm just so sick of them. I've had to ban like 9,000 of them. I say my mods did most of the work. But as a team, we've had to ban 9,000 of these people. They make our lives a living hell. They waste so much of our time we could be spent helping you. But, so maybe they're the loyal thieves, the loyal fraudsters, the loyal whatever. And so, yeah, they subscribed, but then they got caught, as they always do. I've seen hundreds of people come into the Facebook group and say, oh, my channel got terminated. I didn't do anything wrong. Our first question usually is, did you do sub for sub? They're like, well, yeah, but I also watched 5 seconds, or I, never unsubbed, or whatever. It's like the serial killer who lets one go every now and then so they can feel good about themselves. Well, I didn't eat that guy. It's like, you're still horrible. Just stop. Maybe an extreme analogy, but I think it holds if you ignore the extremeness of it. So, it could be that there may have been some sub for subbers or dodgy characters that were subscribed to you, for example, and they got caught and their accounts got shut down, as does happen. We've seen it hundreds of times in the group. And we have no sympathy for when it happens to those people, because they made their choice and they got to face the consequences. But, so it's not... You can find out for subscribers, though. You can go into your subscriber analytics, and you can see why you lost subscribers. And one of the options that comes up is closed accounts. That will be for either people who have closed their accounts for whatever reason. My friend Mike closed one. He accidentally had multiple YouTube accounts, and he shut one down because he wanted to clean up his, I don't know, whatever, internet Footprints? Couldn't tell you. I mean, why would you care? But whatever, he did. And also, it could be that they got caught or otherwise committed fraud that got their channel shut down. And so that gets pulled out of the system. You might lose that person as a subscriber. You're probably better off without them. But you can know that for subscribers because closed accounts. Go in and look at those analytics, especially if you're seeing a decline or like you're gaining subscribers, but you're also losing a lot. You're having a net gain, but it's like you're kind of feeling bad about that. Go look at that. And any that say closed account, let yourself off the hook. I grant you absolution. It was not your fault, my child. If it is closed accounts. So for subscribers, you can know. For views, not really. And I don't blame YouTube for not being transparent about this process because they are playing cops and robbers. They are in an arms race with these people. They're, you know, the hackers and the bot farms, they're constantly thinking like, oh, okay, if I watch 3 minutes and then I subscribe, then I can get away with it. Because apparently they're 30s mobsters. I don't know. Whatever it is that they're thinking, you know, oh, if I use a VPN or if I, you know, reset the dynamic IP after every time, or maybe I'll automate some click activity that'll look like a human. Who knows what the hell they're doing? I don't know how to do any of those things I just said. I know what they are. I don't know how to do any of them. But whatever it is that they're trying. And so it's this game of whack-a-mole, cops and robbers, arms race, whatever you want to call it. But so if YouTube put out a white paper that explained everything it did to catch fraud, this would be the blueprint. The white paper would become the blueprint for how to commit the fraud. Because then you can find the hole in their system and be like, oh, well, if I go around here, they won't detect it. So it's an understandable opaque thing that you can't fully understand or know. It's a shame, but it's because of the bad actors that they're trying to hunt down so that the platform can be democratized and so people like us can get a shot. Because if it's just people who are buying views that are finding success, well, that would be a pretty crappy platform, right? It would be the people with money and, I don't know, lack of morals. Ranty. Let's see here. I try hard not to trash Ray on a shave day. That's funny. Although I do like being clean shaven, but seriously, it's for you. It was actually funny the other day. I had like a bagel or something, and then I saw myself in the mirror, and I actually had a couple little crumbs, and I'm like, John would be so proud. I have my to-go snack. I thought that was not a thing, but it apparently is. That was like 2 days ago or something. It was like crazy. Let's see here. Melanie says, I don't know what the issue is personally. I know some people whose channels are soaring and some have tanked. And, I mean, that is part of the world that we're in. Hey, Wario Craft! Man, you're old school, man. I remember you. Welcome back. I like seeing familiar names. This is fun for me. I like it. It's like a nostalgia trip, which is so appropriate for a celebratory live stream. I've been holding this balloon. Maybe after I finish my Tums, I'll blow it up and then I'll try to write on the balloon and see if that works better than writing on the balloon and then blowing it up. Anyways, I'm like Doug from Up. Squirrel! Yeah, some are soaring and some are tanking. And that's true. Travel channel, tanking. Facebook group, soaring. Sometimes you can reason it out. No one wants to travel right now. So much of my Vacation Impossible videos are how to travel effectively, uniquely, and cheaply. Ain't nobody caring about that right now, and I don't blame them. I will be here when they want to come back to this kind of stuff. And I'll have new videos out for them. So that, you know, that's tanking. But I think that people, like, one thing I've noticed in the group is, in terms of new people joining the group, I've seen a lot of food channels. That's pretty smart. Everybody's stuck at home, getting tired of having their Campbell's tomato soup. I bought like 2 flats. I'm halfway through the second flat. I'm just starting to get a little sick of it. One of my nicknames years ago was Mr. Consumes Mass Quantities. It's a Conehead Saturday Night Live thing. But I'll happily eat the same thing time and time again. Which is maybe why I'd be bad at mukbangs, because it would be like, oh, white spot again. But, so like, that makes sense. People are searching for recipes. Especially if, like, maybe you can't go to the grocery store. Maybe your mask is dirty and the grocery store doesn't let you without a mask. That may have been an issue of mine a little while ago. My mask was in the wash. And so it's like, okay, I've got these things in my fridge. Can I make a meal out of this? Or I'm so sick of, like, bagel. I want something else. So it would make sense that those channels would be more popular right now, as opposed to somebody who would do. You know what's funny though? On my channel, no one really wants to watch cruise videos right now, except for like some of us diehard cruisers.
At vacation.
Probably me. One video that's been doing oddly well lately. How much do cruises cost? That video of mine's been doing pretty well during this whole thing. And so I think part of it is cruise companies are offering discounts. And so people want to understand, is this discount a sincere discount, or is it just the sale they would have had anyways wearing a funny hat? And so they can go to that video and that can answer that question. But right now that's the only video that's performing well on my channel, depending on how you define performing well. So, it's interesting. And yeah, it's 2-year-old video. For the longest time, it didn't do much. But over the last few months, it's been taken off, where everything else, not great. So, I mean, I think a big part of it is people. I don't think there's a conspiracy. I don't think there's been a huge algo shift. I don't think there's, I mean, there might be the odd exception with COPA and kids content because comments are disabled and like, how do you account for removing those interactions and stuff like that? So I don't know anything about that really. It's not my area. But in terms of generally speaking, I think it's just that the world is in a strange place right now. And so people are wanting to consume different kinds of content. Also, if you want to see something funny about like, putting together food with like your like 3/4 empty fridge, there's a college humor video called Technically a Meal with Zach Oyama. Very funny. I recommend checking that out. But not right now. Stay with me. Is it true YouTube limits the reach of demonetized videos? It is not. Depending on why it's demonetized. If you're demonetized because of a content ID match, no, the reach is not limited. If you're demonetized because your content is a violation of community standards, it's not advertiser friendly, then potentially yes. So the answer has changed. They used to say, and it's not directly about monetization. It's really not. It's about, if it's demonetized, the why. The why, demonetization is one consequence, smaller audience is another. If it's age restricted, it will not be promoted as much. Certainly not if it knows that the viewer is a younger viewer or doesn't generally watch age-restricted content. So it's not a direct, it's not causal. It correlates, but it's not causal because it's all about why it's demonetized. So the devil's in the details there. And they've been very public about those things. It was actually the last time they changed the monetization rules, January a couple of years ago. It was in that December that they finally came out and they said, we do not treat monetized and non-monetized content any different in the algo, search, recommended, any of that. That having been said, since then, because of some of the things that can trigger demonetization. And if demonetization is a concern of yours, there is a TubeBuddy tool called the Demonetization Audit that will make sure, well, not make sure, but it will help you avoid obvious words in your title and description and tags that are likely to get your video demonetized for those reasons. And again, it's in the free version. So I understand if you can't afford the paid one, but people who don't use the free one, I just can't. So, highly recommend that. Demonetized or videos that are not monetized? Yeah, she's asking both of this latter. FTC? Really? I didn't realize it was against FTC guidelines, but that makes a lot of sense. Safety of viewers and copyright holders. Yeah, well, that's the other thing, too. It's if a content ID match, it depends on what the terms of the rights holder is. Sometimes it's just that they'll run ads, in which case, again, YouTube doesn't care, that's fine. But the rights holder might say, like, this can't play in Germany. WMG always blocks things in Germany for some reason. Couldn't tell you why. I have this video of parasailing that I love, and I used a Shinedown song, and they keep changing their minds about how they feel about that. So sometimes they're like, no restrictions. Sometimes they're like, we'll run ads and make the money. Sometimes we're like, not in Germany, sucker. And a lot of times they're like, no, you can't see this worldwide. Or it'll run, no sound. It's constantly changing on that song for some reason. And what sucks is you'll get an initial notification about the content ID match. You will not get a notification of those changes. So this video that I would love to point people to, it's amazing. But you know what? It might not be there right now. I don't know. It's changing all the time. So that's super frustrating. But that is the rights holders. That's not YouTube. That's just the YouTube, basically following the law and honoring their rights as the rights holders. By law, they cannot prioritize content that is monetized. I had no idea. That's freaking awesome. That's cool. I like that. So smaller top channels should be fine. Not really sure exactly what that meant. I really hate SEO. Frankie, I feel ya. I do. It's tedious sometimes. I have 2 videos on this channel and a third one coming soonish. Hopefully, maybe by the end of the month. No promises. About SEO that might help with that. One video is talking about how to write a title for SEO, and the other is how to write a description. The one coming soon is how to write tags for SEO. And so the SEO game, yeah, you know, you want to do your keyword research with TubeBuddy. Again, even the free version, you can do it. And you want to use your important keywords in your title, your description, and your tags to improve your performance in search and recommended on those tags. All of that's really important, but also what SEO often gets down to is that old joke. An SEO expert walks into a bar, watering hole, tavern, saloon. I could go on, but I'm getting tired. And I do that joke in the SEO video. But the point is that sometimes it's about synonyms. And it's interesting because in the newer version of the upload thing, YouTube itself actually says that the tags are unimportant except to check for spelling errors, which is kind of weird. My experience is that's not accurate. I believe YouTube like 99% of the time, but on this one, I don't. Because, no, like, I think what they might be trying to say is that if the tag is not accurate or doesn't align with things that appear either spoken in the video in the title or the description, then yeah, you're not likely to rank on it, so it won't do anything for you. But if it's a synonym, that can help an algorithm. So, for example, let's say you have your title is, seal. What? Seal? What are you talking about? Are you talking about the recording artist, Kiss from a Rose seal? Are you talking about the animal seal? Are you talking about, like, something that's been sealed? Sealing an envelope? What the hell are you talking about, right? There are a lot of potential meanings for that word. So if the algorithm is able to then go into your tags and see that the tags include things like crazy, Kiss from a Rose, dreaming in metaphors, okay, those are songs by Seal. That's what that video is about. You know, if instead it's about, like, you know, hermetically sealed, stamp, wax, you know, like, oh, okay. So in those senses, so SEO has some dimensions to it. We want to talk about, I mentioned keyword alignment. You want keyword score to make sure you're targeting things effectively. But one of the things also is going for synonyms. I might think to search Mario 3. I'm looking at my Mario 3 pixel art that I have on the wall. Okay, but what might I search? NES Mario 3, Nintendo Mario 3, NES Classic Mario 3, Super Mario Brothers 3. There's a lot of different ways that could be searched. So if you're able to rank on multitudes and variants, then you're likely to capture more traffic. And again, I want to circle back to something I was talking about much earlier in the live stream where I was mentioning small ponds. When it comes to things like SEO, we're constantly banging that drum about how smaller channels need to go after long tail keywords. I talk about this in the SEO videos. So the keywords that have more words in the phrase, you're likely to have less competition. Your search volume will also be smaller, so it's a smaller pond. But when you're starting out, find the small pond and own it. Be the big fish in that small pond. Do that enough times, enough small ponds, you'll be able to grow an audience. You'll get those subscribers. Also, what's known as the true fan theory. This is the people who will watch everything you put out and buy everything you endorse. They're lovely and hard to find. But as you get more of an audience, just as a simple mathematical percentage, like the guy that hits on 100 women gets 3 yeses, mathematically, eventually, assuming that your content is of a sufficient, I don't want to say quality, but I want to say sufficiently engaging, that people feel an emotional attachment, that people feel their why. Affiliate link down below. I should stop making that joke. I don't make, like, no one ever buys these things. You probably think I'm shelling out, but really it's actually a running gag because no one ever clicks it. This is like me making jokes for myself. Anyways, when you have enough of those small pawns, and then you start to get some advantage, like if one of those big YouTubers I don't watch, Peter McKinnon, Mr. Beast, somebody, if they were to put out a video about just some random word, they would probably dominate the search terms for that word, regardless of these little things that I keep talking about, all these tricks, these things that lead to what I call micro boosts. And part of it is because they have a massive audience that's going to watch everything. They've got the bell clicked. They know Philly D's got a new show every day of the work week. You know, like these, and they'll go and they'll find it. They'll get the notifications. They'll watch it a lot. And so whatever it is, they'll watch. And so they get that boost from it that helps them because views count towards ranking well. Because the king metric of all in YouTube is anticipated watch time. You need people to click on it and watch it for a substantial amount of time to get anticipated watch time. And some people, because they are famous, because they are personalities, because they are so engaging and interesting and have a huge fan base, they're guaranteed to get a very substantial percentage of that regardless of what they put out. Now, if they put out crap time after time, that'll wane over time, but the point being, assuming it's not, it's up to their usual standard. I'm struggling to get a foothold, basically, if you could call it that, in the cruising space, or at least I was. But like there was some fashion vlogger or something who went on a cruise that had a lot of similar keywords as to one that I went on. They've never done a cruise video before or since. It was a one-time thing for them, and I'm struggling, to get views because, they're also the fashion model, so they've got the pretty thumbnail, and this face can't compete with that. And I don't blame them. If I was clicking, I'd probably click on them too. But and so there is that dimension of it too, and that can be incredibly frustrating and demoralizing as well. They say that algorithms and people have a bias to success, towards success, and it's kind of true. For some people, they care how many people have watched it before they got there. They don't want to be the early adopter. You want to talk about the law of diffusion of innovation. There's like that early 3 to 10% of people who will try things. The first to try, the first to buy. They're lovely and they're rare. So many people want to know that something doesn't suck before they invest in it, including investing their time to watch it. And so that's tricky. So there's a lot that goes into SEO. It is very complicated. There are tools like TubeBuddy that can help, but they are tools. They don't do it all for you. They make it easier for you to give you the information and hopefully the speed. So I really sympathize with the SEO thing, but I think it's one of those things where if you can learn to love it, it'll pay off in spades for you. And if anything we can do to make it easier for you, short of actually doing the work for you, love to help if we can. Most of my tags are in the fair or poor on TubeBuddy, says Brickworld Therapy. Brickworld Therapy, that Lego? Because that's cool. Yeah, and that's understandable. And I mean, you can navigate through the keyword Explorer to find different things. So for example, as you go, let's say Lego. I'm just assuming. One thing that's nice, you get a little bit of related and common video tags that will be suggested alongside. Now, in the free version, this is limited to like 1 to 3. I've got legends, so my list goes on for bloody forever, and apparently in other languages too. That's interesting. That's some of the ways that if you're struggling, you can poke around and try some different things. Another approach is, because I don't make videos with SEO in mind. I don't. I mean, it's a good strategy. I should do it, but I don't. I'm travel guy. I film things as I'm traveling. I see the Coast Guard rescuing migrants off of a sinking raft, and I don't think, what's the SEO on this? I think I got to get the best angle, and this is amazing. I hope everyone's going to be okay, and if they are, this will hopefully show people this heroic work the U.S. Coast Guard does to save these poor people. That's amazing. And if it goes sideways, then this is a Zapruder film, and maybe it's helpful with the evidence. But thankfully, the rescue went fine. Video's on my channel. Check it out. That is sort of how I do. And then I try to do the SEO later. And so if you're like that, and I think a lot of passionate creators are like that, especially if you're not like super targeted, gotta get the views, gotta get the money, gotta get the subs. It's like, I want to make this thing that I feel. Then one of the things you could also do is when watching when you're editing, or as you're working your way through your editing is probably the best time Think about the words that you're actually saying out loud, the phrases that are in there. And as you're editing, maybe just try to think like, oh, maybe that would be a good search term. Maybe have Notepad open and you Alt-tab over and just plug that in as you go. And then you can get like maybe a collection of those phrases and plug them into the Keyword Explorer with TubeBuddy. If you have the free version, you're limited to how many of those searches you can do every day, but the paid version's unlimited. And if you are thinking of getting the paid version of TubeBuddy, in our Facebook group in the announcements is a discount code will save you 20%. But then, because I do this, I'll have a Notepad file open as I go, and I'm like, oh, that's a good one. You know, maybe it's something I say, or maybe it's just something I'm thinking as I'm editing, and I'm like, oh, you know what? That might be a good search term. I'll plug them into that. I will go over, and I did this just this weekend on my last few videos, and they're doing fairly well for how my channel's been suffering lately. It's nice seeing the curve pick up just a little bit after just for so long. But anyway, and then what I would do is I would put these scores, these numbers here, next to it in the Notepad, and then afterwards I would look at them all and I'd be like, okay, that one scored really well, not entirely accurate. That one scored almost as good. That one's actually really accurate, really good. I actually like that. Maybe I could use that in the thumbnail, and then maybe I'm off to the races. Maybe that's my title. Maybe it's just something I say in the description. And so, do keywords and SEO drive content, or does content drive those things? Depends on why you're in it, but also your process flow. So it's going to be different for different people, and that's a lovely thing. If we were all doing the same thing, we'd all be competing, and we'd all be in the same big pond. And that's something to also think about as you're going through it. Who's my audience? What small pond could this video dominate in? Getting back to chat here. All right, I was going to blow up that balloon. So bad with it all. You know, every YouTuber is bad at SEO at the beginning, I think, except for one kind. And it's the kind that had jobs in marketing before or otherwise working in SEO before they started YouTube. Those are the only people who start off strong in SEO, I think. Some people might do tons of research beforehand. I know that Melanie really believes in research, and so she might have come in strong. I know that she did a lot of writing before YouTube and continues to. And so sometimes the power of self-education or actually taking courses in these things can be useful. I try to generally think of my audience as like the poor person with almost no resources of time. But I mean, there's all sorts out there, especially with 200K now in the group. You know, we got big names in the group. We got some big YouTubers there. And I don't want to call anybody out because I don't want people pestering them. But we got people of all sizes. We got reporters. We've got, you know, companies, all different kinds of people in the group. Some people have resources and others have less. I try to think of the people who have less as my target audience just because I want it to be something everyone can use. I want to cast a wide net there. But every now and then, investing in yourself is good to do. This is going so much better than the previous one. I think the first one increased my lung capacity. No word of a lie. Anyone want to screenshot that? I don't know, green screen challenge? That could be bad. Be like, oh, here's Ray. I don't know, kissing YouTube's posterior. All right. Take your bets as to whether this pops in my face. It's not too sharp. I think that'll be okay. Just show you the tip there. Don't pop. Well, this works way better. Yep. No, this was definitely the thing to do. Oh, get that in frame. It's reflecting a lot of my monitor there. There you go. 200K. Big party. Big smile. Get out of here. My no budget live stream. What else is going on in that chat? Have Your Lifestyle says, hey Ray, can you let me know about my channel? Yes, I can. I haven't done a single channel review, and I got channel review all over this live stream. Like, I really should do at least one, shouldn't I? Otherwise, it might be a little misleading. Okay, So, the Javier Lifestyle, 137 subscribers, 8 videos. That's, I mean, again, I don't want to, like, say much about these ratios. I don't want to judge people. You know what? I don't want to judge people in a negative way, but if it gives you a positive impression, that's great. Be positive. So, that's a pretty good ratio. I don't even want to talk about how many videos I had out before I hit that number of subscribers, but it was many, many more. Okay, so for your name, TubeBuddy, which is my browser plugin I've got installed on the right-hand side here. That's why my YouTube might look a little different from yours. Also, I love dark mode. They're slowly rolling out dark mode on Facebook, apparently. I don't have it yet, but I can't wait. Which, I mean, maybe I could try to curry my, you know, oh, I'm an admin of a large engaged group. Can I please have it? Nah, I don't want to waste it on that. Anyways, so it scores good, but you'll notice that the search volume is as poor as it can be. And the competition's great. So no one's searching it, but there's no competition. So, and that's normally what happens with names. So that's fine. I just wanted to point out that. Looking at the most used tags that are associated with your channel name includes clothing haul. Okay. Thread Beast, unboxing, Jordans. Oh, okay, it's shoes. Sneakers. What do you call them? Sneakerheads, whatever. 1986. 2020. Air Jordan. Okay, this is a sneaker channel, I bet. So, what does the description of the channel say? Hey, ladies and gents, welcome to the life of Christian Javier. I am new to the YouTube world, but I have decided to let you all in my... Full disclosure, I can be kind of brutal in these live streams and channel reviews. Sugarcoating it is going to waste everybody's time and not help you, so I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm sure you're a wonderful person. This description sucks. You need to hear it. I'm sorry. It's true. And let me explain why. It might get better later on. Your channel is probably awesome. I just glanced at some of the thumbnails. Your thumbnail game's pretty good. I got some suggestions about how they could be a little bit better, but this description sucks for one really core reason. Your description... and again, I'm focusing on a slice and a niche here of your channel, a small dimension that most people ignore. And I'm doing that with great intentionality because if we do what everyone else is doing, we're never going to win at their game. We need to play our game and play it differently. That's how we get a chance as small channels. And so if everyone else is ignoring the beginning of their description and we don't, advantage us. So the beginning of your description, you probably, I don't know, but a lot of YouTubers don't think about how their channel appears in search. We're so fixated on videos, and there's nothing wrong with that, but our channel comes up in search also. Especially if for some reason we start to become a brand, a recognized name. People look for our name. If Nike, I don't know if they ever send free shoes to people, they probably do, Kanye or somebody. If Nike or some smaller some smaller brand were to send something, you know, they might search the names and see what comes up. And you're not representing yourself well here. You're doing yourself a disservice, and that's a shame because I'm sure you're better than your description is. And so, and I really hope I'm not being too harsh here, so I think your description needs to do two things right at the beginning. It needs to tell people what your channel is about and hopefully give them a reason or an enticement to look at it. And this does neither. Hi, ladies and gents, welcome to the... Also, there's a third thing. If it is SEO friendly, that helps you too, right? So, hey, ladies and gents, welcome to the life of... So, I don't know what this channel is about. It's about a person named Christian Javier. And you say you're new to YouTube. That's it. Don't know. But I'm seeing from other things here because I have TubeBuddy and I'm looking further down. People are lazy. Don't count on them looking down. That it looks like it's going to be a shoe channel, and that's great. There's interesting ones out there. It's not my slice of tea, but it's not my slice of pie. It's not my cup of tea. But it's sorry, just getting a message. But, you know, some of them are done incredibly well and are very successful. And there is a community and a niche there. And so let's help you dominate it a little bit better, eh? So you need to say shoe in here somewhere. Please, for the love of God. Getting a little, you know, what's his name? Anyways, yeah, so say something. About what your channel is about, and you got to do it early because as you're seeing here in these search results, it's truncating. Christopher Walken, that's what I was sounding like for a second there. But yeah, so it's cutting off before it's giving any of the goods, right? And there's no SEO value here at all. None of these words are things that people are searching. Hey, ladies, gents, welcome to the... None of it. And even if they were searching it, those are such common words, not tied to any genre or subject, that they're going to have massive competition and probably incredibly small volume. So, you know, it's that's part of the issue with that. I'm sorry to say, but it's easy to fix, and that's one of the things. This isn't easy. If you fix it once and you leave it for almost forever, it's you know, you could say add the Javier lifestyle, or I mean, if you want your name up there, and I mean that's something to think about. If that's your full legal name, your privacy is just not happening. If you do blow up, something to think about. That's why, you know, I like never use my last name. But anyways, and my channel name is not my name. And that's a choice people make. It's up to you. I just want it to be a conscious choice you make. You go in knowing what you're choosing. So you can say, you know, the life of Christian Javier is all about that sneaker lifestyle. We review Air Jordans. We do Q&As. Something like that. So that serves 3 purposes all at once. And feel free to use it. I give you permission. If you thought what I came up with was good writing, that's nice of you. Feel free to use it. Not my best work. But because then people will know right away, hey, I know what to expect. And then if it's something that interests them, you've also got that enticement. And people search terms like that. Air Jordan 5 Fire Red Review, whatever. You can have that in there. Another thing I would suggest removing is you say, I am new to the YouTube world. That will not age well. It's not always going to be true. People forget about their descriptions. So try to future-proof your description, because if your channel does take off, you're not going to necessarily have the time or think to go back and update that. And I think that you're selling yourself short, because saying that you're new, what does that associate with a potential audience member? It depends on the psychology of the person. Maybe somebody is really looking for something new, but they could filter the results by how the last upload date if they wanted new. I think that when they see new, they think unpolished, inexperienced. They think that it's likely to be rough, bad audio, bad video, maybe like you're late to the YouTube party, you're here because maybe you're gonna, like, they might have a lot of negative assumptions. I'm not saying this about you. I'm saying they might think this. Let's be conscious. Let's try to stop these negative thoughts. They might, oh, you know, he's trying to make a buck. Everybody else is on YouTube. This is the guy following the pack. Like, these sorts of associations aren't exciting. They give people a reason not to click, not a reason to click. So if you really want to go next level, right? So I talked about explain it, get SEO, entice people. And next level, if you want to take this to the next level, be aware of how many characters until you get that ... I think it's like 100 or something. I'm not sure. I think it's a little less than a tweet. If you can make it so that ... comes at a part where people are like, I need to know how that sentence ends. That's some next level stuff right there. That is a little clickbaity in the sense that it's a little bit like, you know, what is it? 10 facts about somebody and number 3 will blow your mind. It's like, well, I must know what number 3 is now. Pro tip, that don't work on me, but it works on other people. So if you could do it to that level, then that would be perfect. I will probably take a look at your description in more detail. I'm sure the rest of it is fine, but it's that focus at the very beginning. I'm being harsh because it's all about first impressions. On YouTube, you have to care about the stranger. You gotta care about the a-hole stranger who's lazy. Because if you can get him, you get everybody else too. Looking at your profile picture, looks like a nice picture of you. You're outdoors. A couple things. If, in fact, you have a sneaker channel, your shoes are not fully visible from a framing standpoint. Something to think about. Also, you're at a waterfall. Looks like a beautiful picture. I would love to go there. You know, it'd be cool. We could go hang out there. It'd be fun. I bet you're a fun guy. It get that sense. But if that's not what your channel is about, if you're not about travel and outdoor adventures and tourist destinations or hiking or climbing waterfalls or nature, then that picture is not representative of what your channel is about. It's a nice picture, could work great on a dating site, but maybe not great for YouTube. If you can make it memorable and it's not always possible, but if at all possible, to make it convey what your channel is about. If you're there at the, I mean, this might sound a little hokey. I don't know. Maybe you'll think it's cool. If you're at that waterfall holding up some Air Jordans, giant smile on your face. Or maybe even something funnier, like something making it clear that you would never wear them while hiking. That could be funny. I don't know. And that's a video idea. It'd be like 10 things not to do in your Air Jordans. That might be funny. I don't know. And then all the sneakerheads would be like, oh my God, people can't do that. No. You like fake it out, get like some cheap shoes from like, you know, the Marshalls or the Ross or something and just tape like Nike Air on it or something and then just like take them to completely inappropriate places. That could be very funny. I don't know. If you're interested in doing some comedy. Comedy is a rough road to hoe. Let's go into the channel here. The first thing that jumps out at me is that the channel doesn't appear to be fully set up yet. You only have your uploads. So what you need to do is come here when you're logged into YouTube. There will be a blue button over here that will say Customize Channel. Click on that. I want you to add a few things. I want you to add, at minimum, I want you to add a row of popular uploads. That should be in there. That's easy. YouTube will automatically update that over time. So as videos become more popular, the order will just automatically update. But that will at least fill out the screen that I'm looking at right now, because right now there's just this one row and then there's big blank space. Let's fill that up with more things that people can click on. So that bare minimum should be there. I'm going to take a quick look at your playlists. You have no playlists. You need to create playlists. You'd be surprised. I'm going to take a quick look, I think, on my phone here, just because I'm leery about what analytics I'm allowed to show. Playlists. Wait, that's not what I want. Analytics. Do I have, where is Discovery? Here we go. I just want to see if I can get this up here. Here, I'm getting a lot of glare. Not sure if that's going to work. What you got? Oh, come on. No? Okay, well, I'll explain. This is top playlists playing my content. And it's how much percentage of watch time am I getting from playlists? And I'm getting 33% of my playlist watch time from a playlist about Cozumel and Costa Maya. I'm getting 17% about Carnival Panorama, and some others. Playlists get you views and watch time. Not necessarily huge numbers, but you know what? In a small channel, every view, every watch minute makes a difference. The smaller you are, the more it makes a difference. So please, 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 I beg you to create playlists. It is easier for people to binge your content if it is organized in some fashion. Some people will want to just watch everything and they don't care the order. They might just click play all right here on your uploads. Relatively rare, especially if you have any variety of content on your channel. If you fluctuate at all, the sneakerhead's going to watch sneaker videos. Maybe you do, Q&As or vlogs, lifestyle, whatever. So they might want to watch that. So if you create the playlists, it gives them a curated way to experience a slice of your content. Let's think about something for a second here. The thing we have on YouTube, it's not called a page, right? It's called a channel. So let's think about television for a second here. What do you have on channels? You have TV shows, programs, right? So what are your shows on the channel? Think about it that way, maybe. Each show should be its own playlist. And so that's the organization and the layout thing, because then when you have playlists that have at least 6 videos in it, you can add them here as horizontal rows to further flush out your channel. It looks more complete, more professional, and gives people more opportunities to click on your videos, more views and watch time for you. Now, the other thing about playlists is that there's SEO involved. Don't want to, completely keep hopping over to my channel, but I just really quickly to show you playlists. I've got tons of playlists, right? And here, I've got Long Beach, California. This is one that I just made recently. So if people are searching Long Beach, California, and I have videos where maybe I say Long Beach, it's in the title, it's in the description, it's in the text, it's in the comments, it's in the captions, and it's also in a playlist with that word, what do you think that does to my appearance in search? Now, keep in mind that your appearance in search and recommended is related to the algorithm's confidence that it knows what your video is about. It's also about anticipated watch time, but a big part of it is that it's confident that it knows what you're about. And so This increases the algorithm's confidence that these videos are about Long Beach, California. And if you were to go in and look at this playlist, you would see that there is a description you can have. That's more SEO. The algorithm is a hungry, hungry hippo that wants information so it can confirm its suspicions or reject them. So it can have greater confidence that it knows what your video is about. Then if your video also generates watch time, let's go show it to the world and get that watch time and that ad money, and everyone's going to be successful. That's the happy path that the algorithm wants to follow. So you'll notice in Long Beach, California, what do I have here? I've got the word California. I've got the word Long Beach. That's keyword alignment. I also have other words that would be associated with that. Los Angeles, LAX, West Coast, cruise port, restaurants, different things. Southern California. That's where Long Beach is. So you're missing out on this opportunity. And again, I'm not meaning to sound harsh or critical, but it's great news for you because this is easy to fix. You know how easy it is to make a playlist? I'm not a big fan of the new Studio Beta, but playlists is solid. They made it so much easier than it used to be. You go in to playlists and you just click create playlist and make a name. It'll take you to that screen I just showed you. You can go in and type in the description. Now to add things to your playlist, all you got to do is go here, go to your channel, and search shoe. Please have results, yes. You click on the three little dots here, save to playlist, and you just find the playlist you want to add. Now you'll notice you can add videos from other channels to your playlist. Hey, if you want to add mine, go right ahead. I'd love to get the traffic. But more often than not, if not almost all the time, you'll just be adding your own videos. But you click it, it'll say saved, you close it, you go to the next video. So search the videos on your own channel for the name of your playlist, add everything that comes up that should be there. That's an easy, quick way to make a playlist. Boom, your SEO is improving in 2 different ways. Another opportunity to watch it. If people come to your playlist, they can watch your videos there. If the playlist has 6 or more videos, put it on your homepage. Another opportunity right there. That's pretty easy. And you set it and somewhat forget it. But when you are uploading a new video, you should always be adding it to a playlist. So if it fits with an existing playlist, that's easy. You click add to playlist, you click the thing, and you're done. If you don't yet have one, then walk through that process I just did. I have done that well. I did that with that Long Beach video. I was uploading a video and I'm like, yeah, this should go in a playlist about Long Beach. I'm going to check if I have one. I don't have one. I suck. Okay. Time to go make one. And as the video was uploading, I went and made a Long Beach playlist. Wrote up a quick description off the top of my head. Might have sounded a little bit like Wikipedia, but it was me. I was just like, I don't know what to write. I'm just going to put this in. There'll be some keywords, and it'll be English sentences that make sense to people. Awesome. People probably won't really read much of the description of the playlist. That's mostly for SEO, but you still want to make it readable. Otherwise, you could be accused of keyword packing, and that'll hurt your channel. It could get shut down. Misrepresentation. So it should be there in proper sentences that make sense. And that there's a bit of an art to that. But I was doing that as the video was uploading, so that before the video completed uploading, I was able to hop back over to that window, add to playlist, boom, there it was, and now it's there. And things like that give you a micro boost. The algorithm, in my opinion, I've seen it empirically, but I can't say for certain because it's the secret sauce of YouTube. It's the Colonel's secret recipe. They'll never share it until it's no longer accurate, until it's outdated. Then maybe. But everything that I've seen shows me that when YouTube has a feature and you use that feature, you get a small boost out of it. I've tested it empirically. I've used features and then turned them off and watched videos, no more recommended from me. And I've seen the opposite, where I would go in and I'm like, hey, tons of these videos don't have playlists. Go and add them to playlists and oh, look. In so many different ways. So whenever there is an opportunity to use a feature, I recommend it. So for example, you could, when editing your channel here, create a recommended channels box. And if you recommend people in a similar niche, you increase the algorithm's confidence that they know what your channel is about. If you don't have YouTubers in this space that you would love to collaborate with, that you love watching, that you look up to and idolize, if you don't have people like that, if you don't have YouTuber friends, you could still, at the very least, go add like the official channel for Nike or the other products that you might mention so that you create those linkages. It serves 2 purposes. One is to create the linkage to increase the confidence in the algorithm that they know what your channel is about. Secondarily, when a viewer comes to your channel, they see that you recommend other channels. It shows that you support the community and the companies and the things that you talk about. And so a fellow YouTuber comes and sees, hey, he supports other YouTubers. Maybe he'd be open to a collab. Maybe this will be a giant YouTuber who might reach out to you. Open that door, because right now that door is not as open as it could be. It's open a crack. Let's bust that thing open. Now, a couple other things. I want to talk a little bit about your banner. It's got a nice color scheme. There's some pixelation in the lines that, to my taste, isn't great. It's got the nice picture of you. That looks like a great picture, but it looks like the aspect ratio has been distorted. It looks like the image has been compressed this way or stretched this way, which, I mean, it looks fine, but to any of us, it would do none of us favors by stretching ourselves out. I could be wrong about that. That's just the way it kind of looks. It might be because of those lines could be tricking my eyes out, but it looks like the aspect ratio is a little messed up. People in chat, let me know. Do you think the aspect ratio on that picture of him is right? To me, it feels like a little distorted, but maybe I'm crazy. Give me a reality check in the chat. So, you know, you got the title says The Heavier Lifestyle. That's a good font, easy to read, pretty nice, pops reasonably well. That's good. This is interesting. You have fashion, music, and vlogs. That surprises me. I was expecting it to say something like sneakerhead vlogs. I really was. Or sneakers, or, you know, whatever. Now, I understand that fashion is obviously a part of that. If you really do... fashion is a broader category, and it's not just sneakers, and it's just I happen to notice some sneaker videos, then that's fine. But one of the things, and again, find small ponds. Fashion is a big pond. Sneakers is a smaller pond. If it's Nike specifically, smaller pond still. If it's Air Jordan specifically, we're getting into a smaller and smaller pond. Dominate that pond, then start taking over other ponds. That's a little like Sun Tzu, Art of War. Let's go conquer the world. A piece at a time. Don't try to conquer it all at once. Don't fight a war on 3 fronts if you can avoid it. And again, the more you niche down, the more confidence the algorithm will have that it knows what you and your videos are about, and it will be more confident to show your videos to a broader world, get you the views and subscribers that you no doubt want. So, music and vlogs. Music surprises me a little bit. Music can be a little tricky. I'm curious about that, though. Are you a musician? Do you create and write music? If you do, cool, good to have. If you are talking about music, could be problematic. You have 137 subscribers right now, but one day you're going to have 1,000. If you're here spending time with me and you've listened through my harsh criticism and you're still listening right now, you're going to get 1,000 subscribers one day. Just say it. Say it out loud. Talk to yourself. Let your wife think you're crazy. Just say it. I'm going to get 1,000 subscribers one day, because I think you are. If you've made it this far, I think you're going to. With some of these suggestions. And so when you do, you might want to monetize your channel. And when it comes time to do that, if you have, like if you were, I don't know, reviewing Drake's last album or something, and you're playing snippets and reacting to it or something like that, I don't know, I don't see any evidence here, but let's say that's a video, content ID matches all over the place, you won't make anything off of that. You might not care about that. But you're also confusing the algorithm. Are you about fashion or are you about music? Computer ain't smart. Not like you'd hope. These algorithms are still relatively new technology. It's going to be like, maybe, I'm not confident, I'm not sure, I don't think I want to show this video to as many people. Bob over here, he does nothing but sneaker videos. This search is about sneaker, here goes Bob. But Javier, gonna have to wait. We're gonna put him on page 5 of the search results, because we're not really sure if that's his thing. Now, you might not care about that. You might be passionate about fashion, music, and vlogs. That's entirely possible. And if this is a creative, a spiritual, artistic expression of yourself and your personality, and that's all it is for you, that's fine. Just understand that if you're wanting to get the views, you will be doing it without the assistance of the algorithm to the same degree that you would have if it was more narrow. I'm not going to tell you what kind of content to make. I might have suggestions, but it's ultimately up to you, what you're passionate about, what you could see yourself doing forever. That infinite game. If it's something like that, if you're like, I could review shoes for the rest of my life and be a happy man, awesome. Do that if you can. But casting too broad a net, you know, if you try to appeal to everyone, you'll end up appealing to no one. You know, it could dilute the message and in a mathematical way in the algorithm. So that ultimately is up to you, but make an informed choice. Know that that's the choice you're making. Okay, I want to stick to my 3 things. It'll be a harder road for me, but that's what I want. That's cool. But if you're like, no, you know what? Sneakers is my passion. If I focus on that, yeah, let's do this. Let's take off. Let's go. I want to go now. That's good too. So ultimately up to you. Just make an informed choice, you know, so you know what you're getting yourself into. And then you got vlogs. I have a bit of a rant here, and this has nothing to do with you. I haven't ranted about this in a little while, so it's been building up. Vlogs as a description. What the hell does that mean? Remember, it's not about you. This is just me ranting about words. Now, I'm taking a break from the channel review. What the hell does vlog mean? Well, it's a video log, right? Video. Well, you're on YouTube. Everything's a video, except for those slideshows that pretend to be videos. Those piss me off too. Everything's a video. What's a vlog about? Anything. You can make a vlog about video games, fashion, music, cooking, writing, how to blow up a balloon, Tums. I am now naming things in front of me. Pet Shop Boys albums. Microphones. You can vlog about anything. So saying that it's a vlog says nothing. It gives no information to people. It tells them nothing. That space, in my mind, and again, this is me being super opinionated. Feel free to ignore me. That's wasting space. That's space that could be used for something else. White space, in my opinion, is better than saying vlogs. Pretty savage, I know. It's my taste. Feel free to disagree. So that's vlogs. In my Facebook group, if you say you run a vlog and that's all you say and you drop your link, your post won't get approved because you're not telling people what you do. People should know what they're clicking on before they click on it. They hate those kinds of surprises where they click on something and it's like, oh, wasn't expecting this. People hate that. Lifestyle. Now, lifestyle is in your channel name, so this might not apply to you, maybe some other people out there. If you already have your custom URL, then you're probably locked into that name. If you haven't yet, you might want to think about what I'm about to say. You may or may not want to consider an adjustment. What the hell is lifestyle? Yeah, same rant, right? We're back again. It's vlogs all over again. What the hell is lifestyle? Lifestyle can be fashion, shopping hauls, clothing hauls, try-on things. It could be a mukbang. People have lifestyles about video games. People have lifestyles about their sexual orientation. People have lifestyles about cooking. A lifestyle is pretty much anything you do in your life, is it not? Now, a style, that is something that is maybe consistent. Style, if you say style, to me, I think fashion. Yeah, that style, the word style. Lifestyle means bloody anything. It could be about financial investing, saving money, the real estate market. You could have a lifestyle channel about cars. My point that I'm making, and I'm just venting frustration, not about you, but about the words and how they're used by YouTubers writ large these days, is lifestyle and vlog tells you nothing. They are wastes of space, in my opinion. Now, that having been said, when people say that they have a lifestyle thing, my mod team keeps me in line and keeps me from becoming an angry god. And they tell me that lifestyle is a category and a description, and I've chosen to listen to them. They agree with me on vlogs, though. Vlogs don't tell you crap. They say that lifestyle is a niche. It has a specific definition. It does rule some things out. I kind of take that on faith. Because a lifestyle channel might not show you how to fix a toilet or how to make a pivot table in Excel. So maybe it rules out some things. Maybe. I don't know. So this like the vlog thing I think is more broad. The lifestyle thing's maybe more my personal taste. But to me, when I see lifestyle vlog, I'm like, I've got nothing. I don't know what this is. And people are lazy. They want it all spelled out for them, laid out for them, easy. They don't want to have to read a lot. They don't have to look a lot. They've got lazy eyes and brains. And you know what? That's not a criticism of people. People are efficient. If we're lazy, we conserve energy. So that's actually an efficient thing to do, be lazy. Don't work harder, work smarter, they say. That is the philosophy of the lazy person, if you can believe it. If you got the right attitude. So, yeah, that's sort of my thinking about that. So just hit them in the face with what you are. If you can decide what you are and narrow it down as much as possible and then just hit them in the face with it at the beginning of your description and in your channel name if at all possible, unless you've already committed. And if you are, that's fine. It's a fine name. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't have great SEO, but it's a fine name. But in the banner and in the description, hit people with what you're about right away because they're not going to stick around and wait. And when I hear things like a lifestyle vlog, if somebody says that, I'm like, okay. If that's all I knew, let's say I know nothing about your channel, all I know is it's a lifestyle vlog. What am I picturing? I'm picturing somebody in their bedroom pointing a camera at their face and talking about anything that comes into their mind. And hey, I'm doing a little bit of that right now, I admit, but there's a theme with a goal in mind. But It's like it's going to be about what they had for lunch. It's going to be about, I don't know, are they in school? Do they have a dog? Are they going to talk about their dog? They're going to talk about shopping at Walmart probably at some point. Maybe they'll make fun of the people at Walmart. I don't know. That's a little classist. I'm not a fan of that. Not a fan of Walmart hugely, but I shop there sometimes. What the hell are they? I don't know what they're about. I don't. But at the core of it is the assumption I make with my prejudices and everything is that this is somebody who thinks if they point a camera at themselves, they're going to make $1 million. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm really not. But when I see lifestyle vlog, it's like, I'm so effing awesome that if I point a camera at myself, whatever I do, people are going to watch. They're going to love me because my personality is so amazing. I'm so funny. Maybe they're thinking I'm so hot. I'm not thinking that. Whatever it is that they're thinking, and it feels to me, and again, this is just me having a little rant here, super egotistical. And the thing is, they've been encouraged to think that way by some of the success that's out there because there are people out there. There are people who created channels just about whatever their family happens to do. They went to the park, they went to the store, they went on a grand vacation. And because they were early to it, maybe they had a good personality, good production values, maybe they were just first to market. Whatever it is, something sparked and maybe they got an audience. Maybe they just happened to do a lot of travel videos and then they happened to get some algorithmic inertia for that. Whatever it is. Maybe they had one video go viral and pop. Maybe they had a famous friend that mentioned them on Twitter. Who knows? But there's a lot of stories out there. And so oftentimes in the Facebook group, people come along and I'm like, we're going to be like the, I don't know, AZ family. I don't even know if that's a thing. I just picked the first and last letter of the alphabet. Whatever. And I'm like, well, what's it going to be about? And they're going to be like, well, it's going to be lifestyle vlogs. And I'm like, oh, for the love of God. If, as small YouTubers, SEO is one of our huge advantages. If we can own a search term that can drive traffic, driving traffic gets views and watch time, and then subscribers, we build an audience. That's the general path to success. If you cast such a far-reaching net that anything you do with your day, and there's some people out there who are very nice who do that, and they make good content, but they're never happy with their rate of growth. They're almost never happy with their rate of growth unless they're already bringing an audience for another platform. Maybe they got a huge Instagram or TikTok following or something, and then they start those vlogs, and they get a jump start that way. But by and large, most creators, it's not gonna go great for them. They're gonna be frustrated with the rate of growth. So if you can be about something, the something that you're about, figure out what people are searching for that is your something, put it out there. That's how you find success and find an audience for most of us. And so if it's just going to be like, I'm going to start a YouTube channel because YouTube's awesome, you're not ready. You do not yet have your why. So that was a rant not about you, but about words specifically. Another piece of practical advice, getting back to it on your banner, you have a subscribe button there. Couple of things. That subscribe button is actually a little antiquated. YouTube doesn't quite look like that anymore. The aspect ratio on it looks also off, which I'm starting to wonder if maybe the whole thing is a little off, even though your font looks actually really good. I don't know. But this is not clickable. It looks like a button. It says subscribe. If somebody clicks there, they're not going to subscribe. And this is again a personal rant of mine, but I don't like having things that look like buttons that are not buttons. It's just a UI choice that I'm not fond of. You have an actual functional subscribe button down here just under your hand. Why would you distract from the one that works and is modern from the old one where the color doesn't quite match and it's the old style and it does nothing? So my advice, to give you something practical, let's assume you're locked into the name. Maybe you're not. It could be the Javier Sneakerhead lifestyle. I don't know. But if you're locked into it, that's fine. That can be good. But fashion, music, and vlogs, if it is, like, I would think that, let's assume that it's not really about music, not seeing much evidence here that is about music, and vlogs can mean anything. You could, fashion and sneakers, maybe you also do more than just sneakers. Maybe you also review watches and things. We got a couple people in the group who have relatively successful channels talking about watches. I'm like, hey, all the more power to you. That's awesome. Whatever it is, fashion, it could just be fashion sneakers. I don't know. Remove the button. You have a cleaner look to what's there. Don't be afraid of white space. Don't feel like everything's got to be busy. You could make some of the things maybe a little bit bigger as a result. But also, in the image here, you've got palm trees and yourself. I think that's a nice picture of you, assuming the aspect ratio is not distorted. It's a nice smile, nice clean image. But palm trees, are you in Miami, California? Are you about those places? Are you about travel to those places? If not, silhouette of the most expensive sneakers you own. Maybe. I know I'm fixating on it, but that's what the algorithm would do. The algorithm can't hold multiple thoughts in its head at the same time, really. It needs to be consistent. I see you got a link here to Facebook. Let's take a look here. I want to see what that is. Bring up the... Interesting. So your banner is what looks like a vidIQ thing. Looks like you ran a contest on your channel. But it is a page. I definitely respect the page. Interesting. One of the things that you're able to do is you can pin a post on your page. If this contest is no longer active, I would pin a video. Again, this banner, as you can see here, it's cutting off the top of the 100. And that's a vidIQ thing. Like this... and again, first impressions, let's look here. I don't know what this is about. If I came to this page, knowing nothing else... You recently started a YouTube channel. Doesn't say what the channel's about. Pictures 3 dudes. You have 100 subscribers. Don't know what your channel's about. So that's a theme. One of the things I would also suggest is have a consistent look. If you can use the same banner from your YouTube, I think this one's better, as a banner on your Facebook, or some version therein, when it looks consistent, that helps you get verified. Some platforms like Twitter and Instagram don't have subscriber count requirements for verification. They have an amorphous kind of, they have their secret sauce for that. And part of it, though, they are very public about, is that having a consistent look across platforms helps you. It looks more professional, it shows you have a presence in multiple places, and frankly, it increases the likelihood that you're legit because you're consistent across those places and that it is in fact you. Same guy, confident that it's you, but doesn't explain what the content is about. So I think having a consistent look and color scheme and font as much as possible is a good idea. You've also got your Instagram linked here, so that's cool. Let's take a quick look. See, your Instagram game's on point. I'm not super strong on that, but looks like you do some TikTok stuff. That's cool. I created a TikTok account, but I've done nothing with it. I had to uninstall the app because my phone was dying. It was running out of onboard memory. Chicago born and raised. Interesting. If you're still in Chicago, I gotta ask, why the palm trees? You know, wouldn't Willis Tower or something? The peanut? I was in Chicago for like 12 minutes in the summer, and the parking situation scared me out of town. You know, the L. If you're about Chicago. I don't think you are, though. West Coast trip to Cali and Arizona. Okay, cool. Travel vlog. Hey, I'm a travel guy. I love travel. That speaks to me. That's part of that vlog thing. That's kind of cool. If it is fashion and travel, cool. But if that's what it is, say that's what it is. Make it simpler. Let's take a look at... Well, actually, wait, hold on. Okay, well, we got all your videos right here. Not a lot of videos. And again, yeah, remember, it's 8 videos. Channel's pretty new. How new is this? Oh, you started this year. You're actually doing really well for having started this year, particularly this year. So you should feel good about that. Some of the things going on with your thumbnails, there's a few things. The text is frequently hard to read. You have new shoes quarantine. That I can read easy. Out of all the text here, Marshalls and new shoes quarantine is the easiest. The new shoes quarantine, I think you could make that text a little bigger. But what the thing going on with, like here, you've got this Q&A and 100 sub giveaway, I think is what that says, in sort of like a talk or thought bubble. It comes out like a talk bubble, but then it's bubbled like a thought bubble, so I don't know. Because normally the talky bubble is just one big bubble. I don't know. Anyways, if you filled in that bubble with the same color or something similar to what the outline is, so that your black font was on top of that, that would be so much easier to read and I think would look better. Some of the other stuff here, like here, West Coast trip, I think that says. If you put a drop shadow on that, that would be easier to see. You did a pretty good job here. Threadbeast unboxing video, that pops pretty well. The coloring, the contrast on the image, though, is inconsistent. These are like crisp, clean. This is a little fuzzy in terms of your contrast. If you are using Photoshop, I would open up the base image and do the auto contrast and auto levels and see if it makes it look a little clearer. That might be one thing you can do for that. But that's pretty good. Whenever you can, use fewer words, I would suggest. And hold on, I gotta. Oh no, sorry, that was not about this. Anyways, yeah, like the shoes here, the product shot of those shoes, nice, very good. That kept catching my eye because it's got this nice contrast, and the red catches the eye. That's pretty good. This one over here is good. This one here is pretty good in terms of the base images you're using. The others were a little less intriguing, but they're still pretty good. So I think you got a lot to work with there. Let's check the about page. That's funny. So this is different. So maybe you updated your description recently, perhaps since I started talking. That's been known to happen before. But it looks like it hasn't propagated to the search results yet. So fair enough. You're probably wondering in your head, what is the heavier lifestyle? Yeah, that's all true. But again, you probably don't want to open with that. Hit them right away with what you are. Well, it is pretty much the lifestyle of me. I wanted to bring my lifestyle to my channel. You still told me nothing at this point. I've always wanted to make a channel on YouTube and decided that 2020 would be the perfect opportunity to do something out of my comfort zone and vlog about life. See, that's good for like a second, third paragraph, not open. I'm still looking for an open here. This should be a fun journey since I'm into sports, concerts, traveling, and fashion. I mean, it's cool that you're into things, and those are all fun, but that's all over the map. And so that'll cost you in the algo, not going to lie. And I hope you can follow along. If you can hit the subscribe button below. There is no subscribe button below the channel description. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you. Current goal is to hit 200 subscribers. Please help me get there. So some of the stuff here is solid. Going out of your comfort zone, I think, is something that people identify with and they like to champion people on for. I would keep that and keep that in a second paragraph. I like the fun journey. I like that term. Listing things that you like is fine. So like I would probably keep that, but most of the rest of it I would recommend against. Just because it doesn't tell people what your channel is about. It doesn't entice them. It doesn't create an emotional attachment. And it's not SEO friendly. People aren't searching a lot of these things. Other than those two phrases that I mentioned, absolutely keep. So I think I ranted about that enough. Let's take a quick look at your Channelytics. This is a YouTube tool, free with the browser plugin. Affiliate link down below. It's not loading. There we go. Okay, this is interesting. You and I have had a slightly similar growth pattern lately. That's interesting. So you got 152 views on April 29th, and then over the 18th to the 19th, you had a spike, and I had a spike on the 18th and 19th too. It's kind of cool. Twinsies. All right, April 29th, May 18th, and 19th. I play this little game where I try to figure out when I think you uploaded a video. I'm going to guess you uploaded a video on the 29th, maybe the 4th and 12th, but probably I'm going to say the 29th, 18th, and 19th. Survey says 29th and the 18th. Pretty close. Well, and this is interesting. We have a similar growth pattern, and look, we have a similar upload schedule. Isn't that interesting? One of these is a lie. I did not upload 2 videos that day. So I'm guessing that you didn't do 2 that day either. You probably did the 17th and 18th. And look over here, the 4th and the 11th. Exactly what I said. Now, why am I playing this game and what does it tell us? This tells us that when you release a video, you get more views. And it might sound obvious. Does it drive subscribers? Oh, look. The 29th. The 18th, the 19th. So, what have we learned? The biggest, most important thing that any YouTuber can do on any given day to improve their channel is to release a new video. Never release more than 1 video per day, but if you have some time and you're asking yourself, what should I do with this time that I have? I can't remember the last time that happened to me. But, you know, my complaining aside, should I go caption a video? Should I optimize my tags? Should I go share on social media? If you have not yet released a video that day, and you can, do that, because that's going to have the biggest impact on your channel above anything else you can do. But if you're not able to, maybe you haven't filmed anything, maybe you're not able to edit, maybe you can't film because there's construction happening, maybe your place is getting fixed because the pipes started leaking, my recent experience, whatever it is, if you can't do that, then go do those other technical things. Or after you've got your video up and you've supported it and shared it, and now you have time, now go do those other things. But if you're ever asking yourself, what's the most valuable thing I can spend my time on to improve my channel? Make a video. That was long. I hope I didn't bore people. I don't know how to write searchable titles. Yeah, and so I've got a video on the channel about how to write titles for SEO, and I actually take you through an example. I talk about a specific video and how I can take it from what I think is a bad title to a much better title. Now like the title example I use is a trip to Vegas, so Ace of Vegas might appreciate that, and that's incredibly competitive. So like I don't think you can take the title I come up with, but the one where we end is way better than when we start, and I take you through the iterations, the questions I ask myself, the changes I make, and I talk about how that can improve things in each sort of change to the title. And so then you can probably go through a similar mental process for whatever title you've got. Start with, whatever you have now, and then ask yourself these questions. Things like, does it clearly describe what's happening? Is it searchable? Is it short or long? Things like that. And then you can build on it. TestTube says it took her forever to get good at SEO too. That makes me feel better because I'm still on that journey. Let's see. If anyone likes Pokemon, hit me up, says Amanda's Right Life. We're Pokemon trainer friends, right? I think. I'm pretty sure. I think I added you. The TubeBuddy app has not been very good. I personally prefer the browser plugin. I like the app too. I use both of them every day. And so one of the things that I did recently in December and January on cruises to Mexico, I was uploading December and February. And so what I was doing is I was filming on the trip. I had my Microsoft Pro 7 that I was editing, rendering the video, putting it on my phone, and then when I found Wi-Fi in port, I uploaded the video. But once the video was uploaded, when I switched over to the TubeBuddy app to go into it, you still get the best practices, you still get keyword suggestions and rankings, and so it's a little different interface than the browser, which I prefer using because I like the space and the ergonomics of sitting at a desk. But when I was in that deli in friggin' Mazatlan trying to optimize my video, the TubeBuddy app was a huge help. Wasn't as user-friendly for me as the browser, but it worked just fine. And it was kind of good because it forced me to use it, because normally I'd just be like, oh, I just want to use the browser, and be like a little snot, be all picky, I want it my way. Using the app, I actually found it to be a lot easier than I thought it would be. I just had to basically have it as my only option. And so now I can appreciate the mobile thing a lot better. Keyword Explorer works great on this. Like not too long ago, I was talking with my mother, and she had suggested an idea for a video topic, which was like amazing, because normally she's like, for years and years she just didn't care about the whole YouTube thing that I was working on, and so lately she's been taking an interest, which is very gratifying. And so she had an idea. I'm like, that's a good idea. I searched a couple variations of the subject title to see what kind of keyword scores I got. The one that scored really well, that I thought aligned well with the video idea, I then copied and put that into my topic planner so that I can then go in later and be like, oh right, I was going to make a video about that, and then maybe on my next trip I'll call it up and be like, all right, let's film it now. So I think the mobile app has its place. I think the app is better for milestone tracking than the browser plugin, because the browser plugin, and I haven't used it much here, milestones over here. The interface is pretty much the same, I guess, but I like, for whatever reason, I like the mobile version better. I think what it is I like on my phone tracking how things are doing, and then when I want to make major changes, I like doing it at a desk. That's just how I work. And so that's why I really like the milestone tracking in the app. Also, the industry news is pretty cool. Like, that's how I found out about the whole $100 million Spotify thing with Rogan. So I don't know. I like both of them for different things, and the website as well has its own advantages too. Like it's got like a video optimizer thing where it will tell you things like, don't make videos like this. I can't believe it says that. But like it will do an analysis on your video. It'll tell you like missed opportunities and things like that. I think this is only in the paid version. I'm not sure what tier, but it's really cool because it also does an analysis of for you, because I don't like doing this. I know I should. It's tedious for me, where you go and you look at your retention and you find the drop off and you go back a few seconds and that's where you're supposed to put an info card. But when I put the video into this opportunity finder, that's what the tool is called on the TubeBuddy website, it will tell me, put an info card at this exact time code. And then I can just open up another window and do it. And it's not saving me tons of work. And yes, you could do that work yourself. But it's just, for me, it makes it so much easier. And for me, it's the difference between actually freaking doing it and not. So for me, it's huge. Other people, I mean, your mileage may vary. You might have different feelings about it. A lot of times people are like, oh, a lot of the TubeBuddy features you can get other places for free. It's like, yeah, you can, but it's hard. Like here, let's do one here. Actually, this will further potentially help Javier. So let's do this. Let's go look at one of his. Oh yeah, channel tags. You don't have any channel tags. Go into your advanced settings in Creator Studio and add some keywords for your channel. That will help you with SEO as well. Let's go into this Air Jordan 5 review. I'm just going to pause it because I don't want to host his content. He's got only a few tags. You want to max out your tags. You want to add a high-resolution thumbnail and info cards. That info card thing might not be accurate. TubeBuddy hasn't been doing a great job about reporting info cards for some reason. So you might already have them. If you do, I apologize. But if you don't have them, do put some in. It gives you a micro boost in the algorithm, and it'll bring up a little link that somebody can click to another one of your videos, which is great. Let's give them opportunities to do that, especially if it's just before people get bored. That's about that drop-off I was talking about. So anyways, looking in here, I can load the keywords, not ranking for any of these keywords. One thing is you can have spaces in your keywords. They can be phrases. You just, that it's actually really easy. You type it out and put a comma afterwards, and it can have multiple words with spaces as a single keyword. So you can have airspace Jordan as a keyword, for example. And these are all fairly short. So if you had longer keywords, there's a chance that fewer people had tried the longer version, and you can find an audience that way. I do recommend that. So I just looked at your tags very quick. And people say, oh, well, you don't need TubeBuddy for that. For one thing, this is free, so just get it. But putting that aside, yeah, you know what? I can look at the source code. And then I can go searching through all this code, and I can find somewhere. Let's just do the easy way. Is this displaying? Yes, this is displaying. Good. So what was it? Yeah, Air Jordan was one of them. So I'm just going to do a Control F, Air Jordan. Okay, so I found the keywords. But I did it because I reverse engineered it. I knew Air Jordan was going to be one of them. So instead, let's say that we're at the beginning again. And so we're looking at the code on this video, and we want to find the keywords. Helps if you spell words correctly. What's this? Video sharing, camera phone, video phone. Those aren't your keywords. I think that's general YouTube ones. Probably coming from, I'm not sure where. So let's go to the next one. And I think this is where your keywords are. Oops. I'm having trouble scrolling. There's your key. What? That's a pain. Isn't it? Am I the only one who finds this frustrating looking at the code? And so people come into the group and they're like, well, just look at the code. I'm like, why give yourself that headache? First, I found the wrong one, so that would have misled me. And this isn't showing me the rankings. Forget that. You can, but get the free thing that does it for you, that would show the number right here if it was ranking. I don't get people who say, you should do it all manually. I just don't. We don't have time. I could be sharing my content on Twitter right now. I could be on Reddit. I could be making my next video. I don't need to go through this long way around. Great on the computer, yeah, I agree. Really depends on how you use it. I'd recommend using it in conjunction with a guide on how to do SEO and what SEO is. Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing. TubeBuddy is a suite of tools. It's a set of tools. It is not going to do the work for you. Holy God, we've been live for nearly 3 hours. I should wrap this thing up soon. Having too much fun. But nobody's messaging me saying, stop. So that's a good sign. Test tube, now you have the formula in winning. I don't know that it is a formula. I think it comes down to experience to a certain degree. Malcolm Gladwell talks about if you do anything for 10,000 hours, you reach what they call unconscious competence. And so you kind of do it without thinking. And so is that a formula, or is that just building that muscle? I don't know. How good is the SE Studio tool with TubeBuddy? I have not used it much. I don't know. I'll have a Kickstarter starting soon. Stupid Robot Fighting League. That's awesome. That's something we don't know anything about. Kickstarter, you need a demo for that. It's Indiegogo that you don't need a practical working model, but that's interesting. Is it like the home version? I think I remember suggesting a home version years ago. I'm not trying to take credit or anything, but that would be kind of fun. I might do that. Get like a little frame. And I got too much crap though. I don't know. Let's see here. Channels that aren't monetized aren't affected by the whole demonetization BS, so it's not a huge deal, but it's still annoying if your channel gets larger and you want to make money off of it. Except for the content ID matches. That's where it would affect you whether you're monetized or not. Get a shout out from a larger channel. That's always nice. I have a video on the channel here talking about how to ask for a shout out and how not to ask for a shout out. If you're thinking about asking, I highly recommend you watch that first. That way you'll approach them with a strategy that's more likely to be effective. I get asked for shout outs all the time. Never done it. I'll do a paid sponsorship maybe if I believe in the content, but no, like I've done a couple shout outs, but those were for things that I believed in. Like Max Hickson, love him. His music's great. He's in the group. Small YouTuber, check him out sometime. Listen to him on Spotify. Natalie Carboni, she's got a song called Following on Spotify. She's a relatively small YouTuber. She's got some videos. She's not in our group. I saw her perform on a cruise ship once, and she's amazing. These are people I'll shout out because they have really high quality content. And yeah, okay, maybe that's not what you're looking for, but they are smaller YouTubers that I think are doing some things very right. So not only can you go for some good music, but you can also see how maybe you can use Spotify to grow. If you have music or a podcast, you can also see some of the things that they're doing on their channel very well. And so I have a video on this channel where I shout out Max Hickson. And the first half of it is talking about why I think he's awesome. The second half of it is talking about the technical things that I think he's doing well, like how his thumbnails are great and how that might inform you guys as well. That's one of the things about shoutouts. It's got to have value to the audience. If I just said, hey, go check out College Humor because they're hilarious, that's cool. I believe it, and I think you should. But does it really add value to you? I mean, I like to think I'm a little funny. Maybe you're here for some of that comedy, but you're not really here for that. So that shout out, I mean, tell me in the chat, does that add value for you? I can't imagine that it does. Unless, coincidentally, you happen to like what I like. Can I convert stupid robot's head into electric guitar? That's cool. I hope that's not the Kickstarter. I can't imagine that would have a broad appeal. I think the at-home game would definitely have a broader appeal. It's a cool idea, but that's like you make one and like you make two. You use one for the band to play for the video intro, and then maybe you have another one as part of a contest that people can win, maybe for charity or something. That could be kind of cool, draw attention, and maybe for a good cause. But as a Kickstarter, I think a home version would be way better. People who can't call name or be somethings. Bewitches, best witches, I like to say. I will buy that robot. Well, Amanda proved me wrong right there. So, what do I know? I mean, I sell t-shirts. I've literally sold 2. One of them to John. So, what do I know? I'm not the marketing guy. That's debatable. Probably the least violated rule. Oh, this is where I was talking about bullies. Bullies hate their own lives. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to psychoanalyze people at a distance. Sometimes people just have values that get violated, and it's triggering for them. And I have my own. And I hope it doesn't turn me into a bully, or at least not too often. But like, one of the things I hate, and I probably shouldn't share my Achilles heel with you, is that when people tell me why I do something, or what I care about, what I'm thinking or feeling, and especially when they get it wrong. It's like, well, I get to decide those things. And there's no way you could know what I'm thinking better than me. So can we argue facts instead? That's upsetting. You need a small YouTuber's Boost mug. I have my Vacation Impossible mug. I don't sell it, but maybe I should make something on Teespring. Tell me in the chat, or if you're watching this on replay in the comments, if we had a small YouTuber's Boost mug, is that something that you would be interested in? Boot mug. Funny typo. I'm not even active on the Facebook group. That's fine. Hey, man, people are on all sorts of different platforms, and whatever works for you, wherever you find success. The one thing I would say about the Facebook group is it's got the discount code for TubeBuddy, and we do have a section called Units where we've built some things around. Like just the other day, I added to it. We have one called How to Use the Group Effectively, and I added. It's kind of like a small blog post almost. It's about how to find a good. Ooh, there's a bug. How to find and manage a collaboration and be effective. It's on my camera. Die, bug. That's my camera. You don't get to go there. Sorry about that. When you have a pipe burst and you open up all the walls, sometimes you find bugs. Nothing too scary. That was just like a moth or something, but not on my camera. I keep trying to convince Ray to change it to Boots. Stupid Robot Fighting League often makes YouTuber Boots jokes. Let's see here. I hate people who beg for me to spam their channel for them. Me too. Especially because it's just lazy. And it's, oh my gosh. It's like, they can't answer a simple question like why. If you can't provide a value proposition, what are you even doing? It's like, just do it because I'm going to pester you. The block function works fine. So that's not going to work. Because I just keep saying, begging. Brick World Therapy loves Epidemic Sound. Me too. I have to say, they've been nothing but professional when they, in the communications I've had with them. Their stuff's really good. Maybe free Primo to Buddy for your starving mods. Hey, if I got it, I would share it. I would. That's a nice idea, though. I'll keep that in mind. Epidemic is awesome. I'm large. I don't look starving. They won't fall for it. I'm so far behind in that chat, I don't know what you're talking about. Been using Epidemic for about a year now. Love not worrying about copyright music issues. Yeah, when I found Cam to write music for me, it changed my life, really. That, like, if I hadn't had that moment in that Boston Pizza, I probably wouldn't be here with you right now, because I don't know if I ever would have decided to take my channel seriously. Because the music copyright issue was holding me back like you wouldn't believe. Use music for all your videos. I'll try growing a beard for a sponsorship. Didn't work. I'm glad that didn't work. I don't think the bearded lady's a great idea. It's been tried. It's a little passé. Its day is done. It's played out. I'm music in all my videos. Only 90%. Any advice about picking music? Also, what is your niche? For me, I like a lot of the stuff that Cam's written. Some of his Bollywood-inspired stuff, not as much, personally. And some of his stuff is evocative of a certain energy or mood, and so I try to have something that matches the energy or mood. So if it's something exciting, I want high energy. But if it's something that's like more serious, like a helicopter rescue of a sick person off a cruise ship, I have a video like that on Vacation Impossible. We try to go for something a little bit like more calm, because we don't want to seem inappropriate. But oftentimes, most of what we do is high energy positivity. So most of the music is. And so for most of the time, like 80% of the time, I go for duration. I'm like, I've got 1 minute and 32 seconds here that needs music. Let's go find which of these songs is closest to 1 minute and 32 seconds. 1 minute and 28. I can shave 4 seconds off of that. Let's do it. Either shaving the video or the music. So 80% of the time it's that. Just because the stuff he's written is so in line with it. And so you'll hear, if you watch a lot of videos on Vacation Impossible, a lot of the same musical tracks come up over and over again, and partly it's because I love them. I'm not sick of them. I hope my audience isn't. As for Epidemic, I haven't used it personally. I poked around their site. I would like to play around with it. It's a matter of finding the time. So I wouldn't even know where to begin in terms of searching there. But I do want to play with their sound effects one day. I want to get around to that. My intro and outro song came from Epidemic. People really like it. Suck at choosing music. Focus on inspirational music. My channel is about health and fasting for a little over a year now. This is like intermittent fasting. It's very popular. Videos on that might be competitive, but it could work for it. Tends towards classical because I hear so much Einst on other channels. I'm sorry, I believe the word is unst. Yeah, again, a little Ray rant here, but there's nothing like one of those channels that annoys me. Like when you have to sit through 20 seconds of just their name going unst. Okay, you've got a name. You figured out how to make text move in what looks like a 3D environment. 17 more seconds. I hit that dislike. Yeah, you know what? This isn't worth it. On to the next video. Like, it must be super enticing for me to sit through that. So I've been thinking about, because the thing that I'm actually currently working on testing is about making intro videos, among other things. I'm thinking about creating a little intro video for Small YouTubers Boost, maybe Vacation Impossible as well. I'm more excited about the end cards for Vacation Impossible. Animated end cards. That sounds fun. I've got still end cards. I've got ones with B-roll. Animated. Next tier is my plan. So I might experiment with it, but for me, end card is always 20 seconds, always should be. Max it out every time. But for an intro, I want to make it as short as possible. That was one thing with my guy that writes music. I love him to death, but when I asked him to write me a quick intro thing, I think one of them was like 35 seconds. The other one was like a minute. I'm like, it needs to be way shorter. And so I might go to Epidemic maybe for an intro. Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe my podcast. I don't know. Something to think about. Um, yeah, neon colors tell me you drink Monster. Savage, I like it. The most difficult thing about the music is trying to balance it with the audio. Background music is, yeah, getting the audio levels is tricky. I find that, I mean, it depends on what level you're starting at, but going to like a negative 12 decibel on the background music, somewhere between negative 12 and negative 22 on Premiere seems to be like a good range where it's enough to create atmosphere, but not so loud that you have trouble hearing, at least me, talking over it. But that's just me, something to play with. Fake reviews are against the law. So I was contacted recently about someone who wanted to pay me to write positive TripAdvisor reviews for them. I've been thinking about posting a screenshot of it and outing them on my community page on Vacation Impossible. Do you think I should do it? I'll like obscure the name of the person, but maybe not the property. I already thought that I'll title the post, "This is not okay." I've been sitting on it. I posted a non-sanitized version of my Patreon just for fun. But I've been thinking about doing like a toned down version for a public post, but I don't know. Would it be too snarky? Or would it like, gain me integrity or public, perception of, which, because I like to think I have integrity. When somebody says, "Melanie, for $1 million, would you?" And I just cut them off and say, yes, I would. If I had $1 million. Instrumental. Sugar Cat caught a live stream. Welcome. Any energy drink sponsors would be amazing, says Let's Dre. I like Red Bull. I like the flavor. I have a heart condition now, though, so I don't know that I can have much. I'm not sure. But back in the day, I would like smuggle it from the U.S. I've gotten hot sauce and pizza sponsors. That was fun. Members of my ensemble on Vacation Impossible would love the hot sauce. I would run screaming. Pizza sponsor would be amazing. What kind of channel, Sugar Cat? What kind of channel gets a pizza sponsorship? If a pizza company sponsored me, I'd put on lots of pounds and a whole lot of smiles. Sugar Cat, I think I've looked at your channel before. The name sounds familiar. It's gaming, isn't it? Trying to stop it. Stop it. The best community on YouTube, and that could be anything. CSGO. Yeah, it looks like gaming. Pizza and gaming. I mean, that goes like pizza and soda, doesn't it? I'm going to shut off the channelytics there. Meow's it going? It's cute. 11,000 subscribers. And you've got memberships. I'm in no position to tell you what to do. And you didn't ask anyways. Anyway, that's kind of interesting. But featured channels, Markiplier, Cinemassacre. I've met James Rolfe twice. I know, it's a flex, whatever. No, he's just such a nice guy. That's great. And I mean, I love Pat Contry, so I mean, if you haven't checked out Pat Contry and you like Cinemassacre, he was in the NWC, and they did Bayou Billy, and they did a couple other things. Combat? I was at Portland Retro Gaming Expo where he first showed the first teaser clip for that, and I was like losing my mind in the second row. First row. I'd love a pizza sponsor. They'd lose a lot of money out of me, though. Like, it's a funny story. When I was living on my own for 4 years, the pizza guy got to know me super well from Panago, which is a pizza company here in Canada. And so one day he knocks on the door. He's like, "Hey, Ray, how's it going?" I'm like, "Yeah, pretty good. And I'm paying." He's like, "Hey, man, how you like my car?" I'm like, "What?" He's like, "My car, it's parked over there. I got a new car. What do you think?" And I'd never seen his car before. So like that was a weird thing for him to say. And then I go and I look and I see his car half a block away, just up the hill, right outside the new Panago location. It was his way of telling me, like, "Man, you can cross the street to get pizza now. You don't need it delivered." But that's how he said it in a way that kind of like preserved my dignity. So it's like, "Oh, that's a really nice car. I see what you did there. Thank you. Yeah, I'll miss you. we had a good thing." He's like, it was pretty funny. A little sad when the pizza guy knows your name. I make Operation Life. Check all my editing with music. Oh, you guys know each other. That's cool. Watch my video during editing and try to imagine what the best background music would be for certain sections. That's a good approach. Can you look at my keyword score on a video if you have time? Yeah, let's take a peek. I don't have a lot of time, but I have trouble saying no. Because I'm like, now I'm curious. I want to go see one. I liked it that Frankie's very forgiving, because I made a mistake about Frankie the first time I reviewed their channel. And it wasn't a thing. Uploads. You haven't uploaded it in 4 months? Uploaded it? No, uploaded. Enunciate. That's interesting. And it looks like a channel trailer. Let's find something else. This GTA 5 Transform Racing. Don't know what that is. That's kind of freaky with the half skull. I haven't played GTA 5. I've had it on my shelf since forever. I've got like 300, 400 video games. I barely play them. I've been playing a lot of Hyrule Warriors lately. I enjoy that quite a bit. I like the RPG elements. So nothing's ranking here. Some interesting things. The hashtag PS4 share tells me that this was auto-shared directly from the PS4. You can probably go in and remove that because since it's auto, and this will probably come up here. It'll show you probably massive competition and like very good. Well, that's weighted for my channel. Okay, unweighted is just good. Search volume. Well, people are kind of searching it a little. And the competition isn't as insane as I thought. Well, what do you know? I don't know. I still don't think... I mean, you're not ranking, so I don't think it's doing anything for you there. That's a shame. We've got GTA 5 Transform Racing in the title, in the tag, in the description, and it's not ranking. It must be super competitive. But again, you can get yourself some micro boosts here. How long is this video? 9 minutes. It's pretty long. Need to get a comment. I got an idea. If you're still around in chat, you could. Well, I don't know if this is allowed. I was just saying, like. I'll take a different approach. Sorry, re-strategizing here. If someone were to come to this video and comment, you'd be the first. Just saying. And maybe it's a nice comment, somebody could give you a heart and pin it. Might create a little linkage. Just saying. If anybody out there plays GTA 5, I don't know. It hasn't gotten a like on Facebook. Have you not shared this in our group? I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff that gets shared there, but like, go do it. It's not on Reddit or Twitter. I mean, come on, please, for yourself, share this. Go into the Small YouTubers Boost Reddit, share it there. Tweet about it if you got a Twitter account. Share it in the Facebook group. And if somebody out there wants to come watch this video and maybe comment something relevant on it, I don't know, might help. I don't know what Transform Racing is. That just makes me think about Transformers. I always celebrate the little wins. I am an avid gamer and love to game. So, you have a lot more words in your tags than you do in your description, and that's kind of inverted. Because your description character limit is way longer. So I would try to bulk that up. And hey, for, guys like me who don't know what's going on, maybe explain what Transform Racing is. Just go in, like, second paragraph, say something like, been playing Grand Theft Auto 5 for years. One of my favorite features is Transform Racing, which is where your vehicle transforms halfway through the race. I don't know. Whatever it is. Maybe you lose half your face suddenly. Kind of creepy. That's my sensibilities. And then maybe that will have a little bit more keyword alignment. The challenge here is, and I suspect I said this when I did your channel review all those ages ago, gaming is tricky because it's so competitive. So it's so hard to rank. So, like, is there any way you can be more specific about the Transform Racing? Is there a particular mission you did it on, or a particular location, or a particular vehicle? Maybe then you can draw out the tag a little bit. And looking at your channel tags, no GTA 5, go add that as sort of a bare minimum. I don't know. That's tricky. It's a tricky one. Winding things down, so I'm not going to spend huge time. That's just some thoughts there. How are we doing for time anyways? Oh, yeah, we're over 3 hours now. Wow, this is crazy. I'm just going to blast through chat here because I'm curious what people are talking about. I'll do it. Link me. Oh, hey, great, Melanie. That's awesome. That's because you're my wife. Oh, Operation Life and Brickworld Therapy are a couple. That is cool, and they're both here on their own separate accounts. I love you guys. 4 years of streaming with an average of 20 people, so it takes a while. Yeah. If anyone's curious, this channel is not monetized because the watch time, we're only at about 20%. I'm not super keen on monetizing it. It would be nice, of course, but I think that The one thing I would love to play around with super chats. And I don't really do lives on Vacation Impossible, so the only place where I can experiment with it really would be here. So that would be nice. Yeah. Just either here or in the group. Definitely going to be recording a tips video on how to get started. That's cool. And again, if you want to submit it, I laid out the details earlier. Just found my second stink bug. I want to ask what a stink bug is, but I'm terrified. I don't think I want the answer. That sounds horrific. Yeah, fighting for your first subs. Hard struggle. The real GMATs here. I appreciate what you're saying, but I disagree. The best thing for the channel is to go for the best looking options. You only get one first impression, and you can't afford to turn people off. Best looking. Was I arguing against not using the best looking thing? That doesn't sound like a thing I would say. I respect Roberto, but I feel like a lot of what he says is wrong. Hey, fair enough. Depends on what you're referring to exactly. Some of the things, like I think he makes it sound a lot easier than it is to make an extra $35 a day, which is one of the goals that he puts out as an entrepreneur challenge. I think that that is a lot harder than he talks. That's one thing I disagree with him on. I got restraining orders. You shouldn't hit people. I make that joke often, actually. It's been a while since I've done it in the group because people just don't understand. But yeah. No Dragons Please is here. My crush told me I looked thrifty. Well, he said cheap, but still. It goes thusly. Conversation. So when I open Social Blade's your channel, that opens up automatically. Mine? That's funny. It's funny when you search things on Social Blade. I wonder if I can recreate it. I tried this once before and it didn't work. Ooh, come on. Searching mine. Yeah, it didn't give search results. It went straight to it. Interesting. But here, this one should be interesting. Assuming it doesn't go straight to it. Ah, it went straight to it. Never mind. When on mobile, it gives me search results, and the results were actually kind of interesting. It said, but that's okay. On mobile, when you search Small YouTubers Boost on Social Blade, DJ Talks often comes up as like the second result. So like that is the value of engaging with a particular channel. And when you search Vacation Impossible on mobile, the results that come up after Vacation Impossible are channels that I have collabed with. Which is interesting, like EX Espresso or however it's called, Angela Lynn Vlogs, and a couple others. So it's kind of cool. If I ever forget who I collabed with, I'll just search my own name on here. There's also a thing in TubeBuddy on the website where you get brand alerts. That's another thing on the TubeBuddy website. It's pretty good. Need to learn OBS so I can record on my Mac. Oh no, you have a Mac. We can't be friends anymore. I'm kidding. XSplit, yeah, Mario Marathon used to use that. I was never a tech guy on that show though. Turn off bad audio, Rode mic. Yeah, I've never tried that. Bad audio can pierce your soul. I got the Blue Yeti. Yeah, I don't want to mess with it right now, but I've got the Snowball. But right now I'm using my Fine. Fine's just a little easier. I watched a vlogger who had the TV on the background. Oh gosh, yeah, TV in the background is just bad. I agree. Ray, I don't want to find your why, though. I want to find my why. Absolutely. You got to find your own why. Don't copy somebody else's. Otherwise, it's not yours. It's not your why. You need to feel it in your soul. That's when it doesn't feel like work. Is there a book for my why? Daily recordings. Try and blast through chat here to see if I missed anything that I want to address. Set Play Gaming. Kevones. Is it like Kevin Owns? Yeah, interactivity between viewer and creator. That's nice. Oh yeah, maybe you're talking about here. That's great. I'm late to the party, of course, to do that, so that's actually pretty ironic. My Let's Play is PS4 and PC. Ray going to Joe Rogan. Money, please. It's not crazy. You want to feel like you worked for it. Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm a little lower energy as the show wanes on. Don't take it for disinterest. It's just me getting sleepy. Playing well. Hey, Ray, got to drop off. Time for dinner and recording. Great stream as always. Love that Ace was here. That's great. Pauline T. That's cool. Not used to watching these lives. Yeah, you've been here before, though. I remember a couple of times. I think I've reviewed your channel once. I'm an Affliction Warlock. Baron. I like the Warcraft games, not World of Warcraft, but like Warcraft 1, 2, 3. I heard about the disaster of the re-release, and so I was like, but yeah. What I want is like, I want like a Command and Conquer type game, but Star Trek themed. Because they got the 4X Birth of the Federation, which I've played to death, but I would like more of RTS. That would be really fun. I would love that. I need a better channel name before I get business cards. That's true. You've been kind of like back and forth on your channel name. And the thing is, with business cards, you get like 250 of them. They last bloody forever. This is really fun for you, looking at me, looking at chat. Okay. Employee of the month for Mel, I think. Anyways, my chat's kind of going. That's as far as it's letting me look right now. Whoa. Okay, now things are happening. This chat window, I tell you. Hey, I think Achilles showed up at some point. Oh, the Tom thing, yeah. Type 0, I don't know what that is. Backstreet Boys reunion tour. I've missed some stuff here. What's really funny is when you are watching the same live stream on your own phone 3 feet apart, and all of a sudden Ray goes into stereo mode. Like that, or like stereo, or like loud. Not sure it's stereo mode. I think there's a typo there. I'm guessing. Stereo vision. My views tend to decrease after 24 hours. That sucks, man. Why do people commit fraud and then complain about it when they get caught? No kidding. Or like when the people they, want to commit fraud with aren't like, committing fraud the way they like. It's just, it's like, oh, you guys, what do they call it? Fake? They call them fake people? It's like, all right. You're committing fraud. We're fake, sure. Like when people come in, like someone just today, they were like, everyone in this group is fake. They unsub. I'm like, I would take that as a badge of honor. We are not committing fraud. We are not getting our channels shut down, buddy. We'll see you when you do, because you'll be back and crying. A similar IP. They did it from one office. Yep. Went viral in my state's Reddit. I've had success with some Reddit not too long ago. Made so many friends. Tom, Tim, Tom, Tiny Tim, Tiny Tom. Shady stuff. Where's your proof? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people make accusations and it gets views, but it doesn't mean it's true. 6 of my subs that are one of my communities, they asked me. Yeah, okay, so I've heard reports of unsub bugs over the years. It's possible. I'm honest. You're so innocent about crime. It's adorable. How do I see who unsubscribed me so I can do the same? Like, I'm so tempted to just ban those people immediately, but I'm also tempted to like watch the show that will ensue. I want to travel. Yeah, me too. Want to get back on them cruise ships. It's lovely. You eat the same thing regularly. Are you an engineer? No. Bad internet, can't load video anymore. Oh, it's a shame, but it was good to have you here, Operation Life, while you were here. More beard. Weird. NES Classic, duh. I don't even want to talk about how much I paid for my NES Classic. I was a fool. Eating and watching Ray. This is a good Wednesday night. Thanks, Achilles. All Legos. Congratulations. Melody's funny. The Coast Guard. I'm a Coast Guard veteran. Brickworld Therapy. Thank you for your service. That's amazing. The stuff the Coast Guard does, and not enough people know about it. I hope that my video has just like some of the people that have watched it, and it's done fairly well, a few thousand views. Yeah, they get an appreciation for the difficulty and the selflessness of it. It's amazing. When I put my tags in my YouTube video description, it gives them ranked numbers in green. Is there a way to make sure all your tags are ranked? Make them long and have the words appear in your description as well as your tags. And if at all possible, your title as well, but that'd be, your title would get too long if you did that. So ranking all of them, I mean, even the experts don't necessarily rank everything. I've had some where I've ranked like 80 or 90% of my tags, though. Some recently, I was actually really pleased with how that worked. It takes research, potentially. Or just, they have to be unique or long, or a combination of all three. Naturally, Xandra joined. That's cool. How many balloons are we? I did 2 balloons. What do you mean by niche down? It means having as narrow a subject as possible. So from the broad topic, you niche down, you get to a more narrow, more specific topic. Which was answered well in chat. One game mode. Yeah, that's pretty well niched down. Livestream was broken. Ooh, sorry about that. This will be reviewable afterwards. 20 to 40 minutes after the broadcast, it'll be rewatchable. If you're rewatching this, hit us up in the comments. Hashtag... rewatch? I don't know. How long is this staying live? Well, it's creeping up on 3.5 hours. Is that a record for me? I don't know. Maybe it's why I'm feeling tired. What time is it here? It's Jesus, nearly 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, I'm going to have to wrap this thing up. Scrolling quickly through chat here. Tell TripAdvisor, I'm so tempted about that guy who wanted to pay me for reviews. Yep, listen, I can pin a comment. He's reading our comments. Okay. I think I got caught up. Eminent Productions, welcome. This is live, but it's about to end. He's so far behind. That's like an hour ago. Yeah. The thing is I do deep dives that are kind of almost like consultations. So, Ray, do you stream on real time or do you do it with a lag? Real time. Yeah, there's no like 7-second delay to mute me. If I drop an F-bomb, it'll be too late. Or if I accidentally reveal my address or some nonsense. Anyways, yeah, gonna wrap things up. Let me just think about this here. Yeah, you know what? I am the creator of Vacation Impossible. And so I like to end these live streams with something actionable that you can do. And so here's what I recommend. Go get free stuff. Your mission, if you choose to accept it. Get free stuff. Here's the 2 free things that I recommend that you go for. 1, if you don't already have it, get TubeBuddy. Link in the description. Yeah, it's an affiliate link. I would get something if you get the paid version, but even if you don't, get at least the free version. Let it help you. Please. Browser plugin. Alone. Makes a huge difference if you're working on desktop. If you already have TubeBuddy, then you can get Epidemic Sound free for 1 month. That's a link down there too. So whatever you create during your free month, you will own the rights to that video for life without Content ID matches. You know, and so if you want to continue on beyond that, I think it's like $15 a month or something. I think it's 12 if you pay for a year at once. But at the very least, particularly with everything that's going on right now, a lot of people are strapped. People are struggling to pay rent and other things, and I sympathize with that a lot. I've had a small reduction in my income on my Vacation Impossible channel. Went from $150 a month to $18. That's not a lot. A lot of people out there are really suffering. I'm not asking anybody to spend any money on anything, but feel free if you have the means. But really, if you're not getting at least the free TubeBuddy, if you're not letting it help you, it just doesn't feel like you're taking YouTube seriously. So, yeah, That is your mission if you choose to accept it. Go get one of them free things. Or at least go look into it, check it out. Maybe strategize if you do Epidemic when you want to get that free month. But that is my challenge to you. And with that, I think I shall end today's live stream. But a quick announcement, I do plan on doing more of these. If this 3.5 hours wasn't enough, there's more for you coming soon. So get those questions ready. Maybe if there's particular videos you want me to take a look at, maybe figure out which one you want me to take a look at. Again, I won't watch the video. What I'll do is I'll look at the title description, the tags, the comments, thumbnails, where it's been shared, maybe help you get it unstuck, get it a few more views if possible. So, or questions about the Facebook group, whatever you want to see, a tutorial, something like that. So starting on May 28th, that's a Thursday, we're going to be having probably, let me look at the calendar here, May 28th. Somewhere between, we're probably going to do like 4 or 5 days of live streams in a row if we can, if life doesn't get in the way. But that's very exciting for me because I haven't been able to do a lot of these lately, as you probably know. But 4 or 5 days in a row. Don't know how long each one will be. Probably shoot for an average of 2 hours, but who knows? Maybe I'll go for 4. I don't know. So that's very exciting. May 28th, 29th, 30th, and June 1st is the current plan. And we'll see how it goes. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching. This has been fun for me. It's a whole lot better than paying for therapy, I think. And so, and again, I just want to reiterate, think about what pond are you swimming in? Are you swimming in a small pond or a big pond? And if you're a small channel, swim in a small pond and learn it and master it and dominate it and move on to the next. And then once you got enough of that, you start to get some momentum. And don't compare yourselves to other YouTubers. You're running your own race. If you want to compare yourself to someone, compare yourself to yourself a year ago. And Social Blade is great for that, so it's good that I got that picture up. So thank you so much for watching. If you got anything out of this, please give this video a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. If you want to join us on this future live streams, I don't know what time of day they'll be, so you're going to want to have notifications on so you get that notification. Join us early, get your request in, because you saw how far I got behind in chat. That's just a thing. Thank you so much. If you're watching on the replay, hit us up in the comments, #replay, and let me know if you found any of this useful, what you liked, what you didn't. I appreciate the feedback. It gives me ideas on how to make this more valuable going forward. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much. 200,000 people in the Facebook group. One day that will make sense to me. But for right now, it's just amazing. Thanks so much for joining the party. This live stream will self-destruct in 5 seconds.